And we're live. Hello. Welcome.
Yo.
This is Morning Ritual, our TTRPG talk show, where we occasionally talk about TTRPGs, but not often.
Sometimes.
Good morning, everybody. It's nice to see you today. I'm Anita. I'm one of your hosts. My pronouns are she, they, and down here.
Oh shit, my turn. Hi, I'm Noir. I'm the other host, the one that clearly does not have this shit together, not feeling it this morning. My pronouns are he, they, he. Am I supposed to say something else? Fuck it. We've got a very special guest with us today. Save me.
We've got a great guest today. Brandy, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, everybody. I am Brandy Rose. You might have seen me on the Twitter Spaces as at the Brandy Rose. My pronouns are they, them. And I am a person of extremely many things. Producer, director, TTRPG performer, game designer, voice actor. I make things. I'm very nerdy. People don't believe me, which is wild. People never believe me when they meet me. But that's my whole life, and all of my jobs are really nerdy. I'm also the head of Patoot Podcasts and host of all 9 of its shows.
Yeah.
Yo, I thought I worked hard, but then here you come. I kind of feel like he came out of nowhere, just outworking everybody, and I'm like, who the fuck is this?
I've been in this space since August, so it's been almost a year. But yeah, it was, I think, the maybe July. I don't know. It was in the late summer when there was like Utopia's BIPOC Vamp Jam, and I've always done a lot of like volunteer work and shit. So I was just like, yes, sign me the fuck up. I've been in this space for 2 minutes. I will absolutely happily volunteer to like be in. You guys are doing 3 days. I can do at least a show a day. And then I was in, I think, 5 shows in 3 days. And everybody suddenly was just like, who the fuck is this person who I'm seeing everywhere? And then it just continued.
I mean, I respect the hell out of that. It was like, it just one day, it was just, I saw you everywhere. And I'm like, holy smokes. And you're putting out amazing content everywhere, first off. I know in your intro you mentioned one podcast. Don't you have a couple?
Yeah, I have. So the Patoot Podcast Network has, I believe, 9 shows in its total like roster, of which all of them will be out by the end of this year. Some are in pre-production, but yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 shows. Then there's a 10th show that I'm the co-host on with Cassie at Mental Woke and Glyza at Classical Glyza. That's not part of my network, but is a show that I host. But yeah, let's see, 2 of the shows, if not 3, are in pre-production right now. And in development, and then the rest are already out or launching this summer.
That's wild.
But I've been doing my first podcast for the network. My first podcast at all here in as Brandy Rose was Cam Girl Interrupted, and that one has been out for I think either 2 or 3 years. Time isn't real. And that's how I got into TTRPGs. I met Glyza because I was asked to be on a show, on a game show as a contestant, because a lot of different like hosts and stuff were being asked to be on the show. And Glyza was a judge, and we just hit it off. And then Glyza texted me and was like, hey, new friend, would you like to play a game? And I was like, yeah, Jigsaw, I'm up. I'm down. Let's go. And it was a TTRPG that was streamed. And I was like, this is the culmination of everything I've ever done, because I've been in entertainment for 11 years. So I like, you bounce, you do a little film, for the most part. It wasn't my thing. Now more, but that theater, which like is a mixed, complicated bag. And then the podcasting, the creative stuff, hosting. I was already a live streamer at the time. So like all of that kind of just came together. And I was just like, oh, TTRPGs. The space is dope. I like this.
So I have this like it's just a unrefined thought, which is like there are like classes, like there are people that seem to kind of come up together, like when I started, I was starting around the same time like Bree and Sephi were starting, so like we have our little weird bond about that. And like I'm seeing this new wave of people coming in, like you and Galiza and Stella's also a chat, have like all like tornado kicked the door down, and are like working harder than most of the people that I've seen in the space, and it's wild.
I am working very hard on pushing my graduating class to be as wide as possible. Every time I take a meeting with anybody, I go, "Hi, have you heard the good news about Lexi at Black Girl Mage? Hi, do you know Lexi? Hi, do you need a GM? Hi, have you ever played D&D? Because I don't actually usually like D&D the game, but I will let Lexi run anything she wants for me. I would play D&D for her every day. Have you worked with Lexi?" I'm extremely obnoxious about promoting my friends and like the people that I have like seen and like started to come up with, because I'm just like, I'm sorry, have you heard of this person who is perfect in every way?
Have you heard the good word of Black Girl Mage? Have you heard the good word of Classical Glyza?
Yeah. Yep. See, that's the other thing. Like, I feel like each Twitter graduating class is more inclined to go, "Hey, I got mine. Don't forget to give some to my friends, though." And I feel like that has not always been the case, and that's where I'm going to stop talking about that subject.
It is really nice. It is really, really nice to be able to be in a community with a lot of people that have the same mindset of like, when a door opens for me, I am holding it open and shoving you through the fire escape. Like we're all getting in this building right now.
So you said you like, TTRPG kind of hooked you because it's the culmination of everything that you like. I've gotta ask, what are some of the hiccups in this space that you've encountered? What are some of the things that you're like, ooh, don't love this?
Well, where to start? Racists. That's like item number 1 through 8 on the list. The list has 100 things, but that's at least item 1 through 8. Cishet men.
I almost need that for a fucking soundboard. Racist.
Please gif that, somebody. Thank you. Yeah, that was my first hiccup in the space, was of course like I just joined a show. I didn't know anybody here. So that phenomenon that you go through as a person of color in entertainment that I've gone through, because I've been a performing musician. I did concerts, I did music festivals. I've done the theater thing, like I said. I did short film, I did modeling, all the things. And every single thing, every branch of entertainment I've been through, voice acting is technically I've been a voice actor since I was 21 years old. With a very long hiatus in between that's called getting my degrees. But and also like avoiding racists, because I didn't live in the United States, and working internationally, even remotely, is really hard when you're not in the States. So I didn't get a lot of chances to like branch out and be in communities of color to work in. So what happened was that phenomenon of like, I'm doing this, I think I'm really good at this. And then you hit the wall that is being typecast and being like racially attacked, et cetera, et cetera. That happened here also, except luckily, unlike with the other things, I was able to pivot and kind of stumble into communities that were like utopia. Like meeting Jess is like one of those like moments where it's just like, in my career, there's like a before and after, and there's like a before I met Jess from Utopia and after I met Jess, Let's Burst of Hope, from Utopia. And then I got to, it just kind of exploded where I was just like, oh my God, thank God there is a community here, because being virtual does help with that, because we all get to be together like this. Versus like most of my career has been in person. And like, if you're in buttfuck nowhere, Germany, I say that I grew up in a big city, but like if you're in big city, I won't name Germany, and then you are in the theater scene and you've been in the theater scene for 6 years, you weren't allowed to audition for things for 3, which was a new rule, by the way, that didn't exist before I was there in that troupe. And then you get told, oh, you don't have to audition for things. And I was just like, oh. I don't have to. Oh, yeah, it's because they wanted me to play Tituba the slave.
Oof.
And I said, excuse me? And they were like, yeah, we just like they prefaced it with like, oh yeah, like the moment I read the play, I knew who you were gonna be. Like I could see it, and I was just like, oh, Abigail, is it Abigail? Is it no? And they were like, yeah, Tituba, and I was like, the slave. Why? And they were like, because you're the only exotic member on cast.
Oof.
And I was like, let me solve that problem for you real quick. Bye. Yeah. And then they were like, yeah, we'll never see you. Like told me to my face, we'll never see you as anything but that. And I was like, okay. And when you're in a space physically like that, and it's a physical medium like theater, which is already difficult and not very accessible because I am in this a lot of the time, then less now very much. But you can't, all you can do is leave.
Yeah.
There is no, make your own. With whom? With whom could I have made my own thing in this town where I know one Black person who lives here and one Turkish person that like is in theater and nobody else. Like, and nobody's going to watch us. Nobody's going to fund us. So it's make your own thing is a very internet specific phenomenon that like, I got very lucky that after I hit my first like, racists wall, I was able to immediately go into this space only because I'd been kind of meeting people slowly. And then I just kind of got launched into this space instead, which was really nice because like, and I've told you about like Breno privately about it. And like, it's been really nice to be able to share like that happened and then meet a lot of people that have had the same experience and have like nothing but compassion and understanding for it versus like being like in Germany and trying to explain to white people and even white friends what happened and have them be like, oh no, like knee-jerk reaction of like, oh no, I don't think they meant that in a racist. I'm like, if they did, I'm not asking. I'm telling you, it was racist as hell.
Yeah,
and,
it's not of them to determine what is and is not racist as white people.
Knee-jerk reaction that they have of like, oh no, it wasn't, and I'm just like, oh, yeah. The worst thing anybody said to me in response to that is like, oh no, it's not that, it's because you're a woman. And I was like, I'm gonna need you to sit with that for 2 seconds and realize why that's not better. They're not mutually exclusive. Also, I'm not a woman, but at this point they didn't know that, so I'm gonna let that part pass.
It's just like they're different flavors of douchebag.
Yeah, it was insane. It was also just like I was walking with another white woman. She was fine. She didn't get harassed. I wonder what the non-common denominator there was. But yeah, that's been the biggest hiccup in this space is that and like performative activism. Oh my, and that's tied in. It's tied in right in there. But like, oh my God, I've actually never seen that much of that in any of the spaces I worked in. Although to be fair, it's because I worked in a lot of white spaces, so there was no activism.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of it. I've had conversations that have left me feeling like garbage with people that are kind of held up by the scene, and it's just like, really? Like I gotta eat this. I gotta eat this sandwich.
Yeah, sometimes it's really just like, wow, no brain cells. Sometimes none. And like the thing that like keeps me from like losing my mind is just reminding myself of like, I don't owe anybody anything here like that. I don't owe anybody a performance of my activism. I've been somebody who works in these spaces and like does volunteer work since I could walk. I don't need to argue with someone on the internet. I can just go actually do things.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I am learning to really appreciate about the space. Like you mentioned before, hitting a wall. And like, I feel like in this space in particular, TTRPG, those walls still exist, but it's slightly easier to circumvent them by creating your own stuff as long as you're not a piece of garbage. Like in this
Except
space,
every piece of garbage is wearing a mask. So it's kind of like playing a game. It's almost like playing whack-a-mole. It's like, am I going to whack-a-mole and win a prize? Or I'm going to whack-a-mole and it's made of garbage.
the TTRPG space is the most uncomfortable game of Among Us ever.
Who's the secret racist?
Oh boy.
Or not so secret
you're
racist.
right. Oh, and then usually it'll go hand in hand. Like the show that I was on where I had like the extreme racist experience. I also got like extreme sexist and extreme transphobic experience as well. Because I was just like, oh, lovely. Why don't we throw all the things in? I'm a dyke. Do you want to hit that too? Like,
Let's just throw every single phobia and ism at you in one go.
It was truly like playing, you know, sometimes you like talk to somebody and you're like, wow, you would totally win bigotry bingo. Wait, let me get my sheet. Stop talking. I'm gonna miss my points.
I mean, and the thing is,
the three squares, I don't see color.
If we're being transparent though, if we're being real, and this hurts to say, of course I've dealt with like racist whites, and like on some level you kind of expect it. It's just like, okay, that makes sense. You know, I got you to expose yourself. But I think the thing that really sucks is when it's like, man, I have been fucked over by kinfolk. I have been fucked over by members of the LGBTQA community. And it's just like, yeah, we supposed to be on the same side, brother.
I've been harassed by white, gay, cis men, like physically, more than by white, cis het men. And the number on both sides is still quite large, but the one from like white, gay, cis men is double, at least, from white, cis het men, which is insane. But like that, very much. And then God forbid you see a white bisexual AFAB person who has decided to be a dictator. Oh, I've never seen a class of people, and obviously this isn't everybody, but like that wants to be oppressed more. And I will oblige them. I will do that for you. Don't worry. I got
This
you.
is just one of the services that you offer.
Yeah.
You want to oppress?
I will
I've got
figure out
enough
how
to
to oppress you. I'm literally bottom of the barrel of like the ring. If you could hit it, if you got I think I was talking to a friend once and I was just like, if you have a box to check, I check it. I am brown, I am indigenous, I am AFAB, I am trans, I am a lesbian, I am physically and like chronically disabled and ill. You got anything else for me to check? I will check it. But I will figure out how to fulfill your dream, white woman, of oppressing you.
It's like a Uno hand full of draw fours. It's just like I'm about to wreck your shit, and you don't even know it.
But yeah, it's always disheartening, especially when it's other POC, and it's just like, I was rooting for you. Why are you doing this? We have one enemy. What are you doing? Like, it's ridiculous. It's a lot. But I came into the entertainment space now, like this version as Brandy Rose, from sex work, and ooh boy, talk about a minefield of networking. It's a lot.
You mind going into it? What do you mean?
Oh, well, it's like you meet people and you're just like, oh, like lovely. We want to all support each other. Like all sex workers, we want to support each other.
Oh.
And then you hear them open their mouths and it's like, ooh, not you. Ooh, you stop talking. Stop talking. Close ass, stop talking. What are you doing? But the issue is also there that it's like very complex because like a lot of the things that you have to do as a sex worker are like client facing and therefore client appeasing. And clients with money are often white, like middle to upper class Republicans who hate us, but pay us. And survival sex workers, you know, you don't really get a choice. But like, there's a difference between like privately appeasing a client and maybe mildly trying to attract them, which you can do in other ways. And like some bitches that straight up lean into like being like a TERF or being very homophobic or being very like racist or like conservative. Which is synonymous, and on their client facing large following having social media accounts where they're attracting customers, but also doing great harm. And you cannot talk to them about that. They are not receptive. They are not interested. And like, they're not going to change it because it's working for them. It's making them money, but like, can't exactly do that in a believable way. So like, it is still very much like a privileged thing to be able to do. And it is extremely like harmful and a difficult discussion to have. Difficult only because like, it's hard to get them to talk to you if you have the mental energy to do so, which I don't, and I never do. I think one thing that I've said many times on my Twitter is I'm not the trans Lorax, which I usually follow with also, I'm not person of color Wikipedia. I'm not here to educate you. I am not a patient person. I'm not a particularly nice person. I'm kind. I'm not nice. I don't have patience for strangers. I have no interest in them. I have no empathy for their learning journey. Find somebody else. Literally anybody else. Ask Google.
Liza just says Brandy has energy for everything but that.
Hi, Liza.
It's true. There is a very interesting correlation of TTRPGers and sex workers that I've noticed. I've noticed like more sex workers are getting into TTRPG, which I think is brilliant. You kind of brought up a very weird symbiotic relationship that I never considered before, which is that the number one consumers of sex work products are the very people trying to destroy it.
Yeah, absolutely. 110 billion.
It's a whole other level of cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, no, they hate us. It's a lot. It's I've retired.
That makes mostly, no fucking sense.
I mean, it's not like they're thinking with their upstairs brain. So
it's not like they ever do though.
Fair. But yeah, the client facing stuff is like, you can't take it. Like, I don't engage in sex work discourse, especially not on the timeline or anything anymore, because like most of the time people will get upset over something that a client facing account will say. And it's like, you can't take anything the client facing account says at face value. That's an advertisement. Every tweet is an advertisement. It is not like if somebody is a high-end escort, that was recently like a piece of discourse. Somebody's a high-end escort, and they planned on like having a client who they had like made out was going to pay them $4,000. They're flying down. They have like this beautiful dress. They're a high-end escort. They can't just pull up in a Shein dress. They're wearing designer clothes. They're expecting a certain thing. It's a service and it has its own clientele. And you get stiffed, and the client-facing account says something about how like, I can't believe this client like managed like backed out, chickened out, like fucked me over $4,000. I already flew down. I'm wearing a $2,000 dress. Like I have a PhD, blah, blah, blah. And people exploded as if she had said that if you don't have a PhD, you should be burnt at the stake. And it's like, you can't take any of this shit seriously. She might not genuinely even be upset for any of those reasons. She's just advertising to her client base, which cares about that shit. She's not like, this isn't a private sex worker's account or a sex worker's like own like corner of media. This is an advertisement.
Yeah.
So you can't take it at face value. But that at least is one where she didn't put anybody down. She was just like, this sucks, I'm amazing. And people were like, how dare you? And she was like, what? Which was insane. That's also why, because like when I saw the discourse pop up, and this is the same with the TTRPG space, when I saw that was a topic, I saw people talking about classism in sex work and racism and ableism and the gatekeeping of college, which, yes, those are all issues. It's not what happened here, though, because then I saw the actual tweet and I was like, you bitches are delusional. Delusional. Yeah. Where did she say any of that? That's not what happened.
I mean,
but
Twitter...
people will piggyback. And then people will piggyback the piggyback. And it's like the worst game of telephone ever.
Twitter as a platform really does lend itself to a mob mentality. And when enough people are yelling in the same direction of one person, it tends to get out of hand very quickly. I think there's nothing more toxic in our space than the people who... I call them the rock throwers. You ever see like old movies where there are there's a mob yelling at people and then one person just throws a rock? That's what I see a lot in Twitter, especially TTRPG Twitter, where, and I'm gonna catch it. I might catch a little hell for this. Noir's about to get himself canceled. But there is somebody who had a really bad take on Twitter this week about race, certain like D&D needing evil races, right? Bad take. It was a bad take.
It was absolutely
it was a really shit take. But there are some people that kind of went hard, like really hard, like, you know, you this that da 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 da, just kind of attacking, like toxic positivity. And it's just like, if somebody has a bad point like that, it is good for our space to correct that person, to say no, what you're doing is harmful. Here's why it's harmful. Take a look at your shit. Get your shit fixed. Walk away from your Twitter and fix your shit. Right? But there are some people that are just like, bad take.
Literally, I've seen a lot of people in this space that have built their platform off of engagement from discourse, and that peak performative activism to me, because first of all you're doing is not, you're like, absolutely nobody has been degraded verbally publicly and then been like, oh yeah, I should listen to what this side has to say. That has never happened before. Now, I'm not saying you have to be nice to people that are bigots. You shouldn't, fuck them, but maybe learn how to identify them and stop fighting invisible enemies, because I will see somebody post about an issue and then somebody will privately or like hesitantly be like, hey, I'm not so sure you got this right. And then they will post an tagged, like vague tweet, like thread manifesto. Karl Marx is shaking in his boots at the length of it. And it is just, you can tell if you saw the like original tweet that they are talking about this person, but they're not saying anything that person said. They're just like, and to be like basically attacked and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, who attacked you? Who attacked you? Where?
Like, like you said before, like, you don't have to be nice, but you can always be kind.
You can also always walk away.
Yeah, you don't have to engage with shit.
Also, everybody was talking about it. Everybody was talking about that tweet. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not going to say anything. Also, like, a question, I think, and this is where it gets a little Blue's Clues, but I think everybody would benefit from asking themselves this question. Am I contributing anything helpful to this? Or has everything I'm about to say been said and better?
Yes.
Because on a creative standpoint, I think we all have a unique voice, and there is no way somebody else has created something identical to what you have created to the T, because we have unique experiences and a form of creativity. But when it comes to discourse, I'm not going to post the same take everybody has on their timeline. Mm-hmm. I'm tired. I don't have the energy to fight with a racist on the timeline. I'm just going to keep doing the good thing and trying to create good things for us. And also, like, everybody's saying the same shit. Like, I'm not going to add anything of value here. I will just draw negative attention and potentially end up like on another like hit list, which I recently was on a hit list where I was getting, like, every time I opened Twitter, I was getting tagged in these like violent, disgusting graphic like images of people that are injured like severely in the hospital. Just like extremely disturbing graphic images. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Because it was just me. It's not like one of those things where like they post something and tag 80 people. It was just me being tagged. And I was like, what is happening here? And my friend Austin reached out and she was like, okay, so this is actually a thing that TERFs do. And what might have happened is that you either engaged with someone or a tweet at some point, even if you just liked it, that was either dunking on a TERF or that was like addressing an issue against a TERF, and their following does that shit. And you can't block them because every account they make for it is new. So I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm not.
I mean,
There's no point.
the one thing that I would also add, and this takes energy. So if you're not that person, don't do it. But I try to make sure that whenever I respond to people, I respond with a sense of empathy. Like if I were somebody that had a really bad take on Twitter because I didn't know any better, right? What could I say to inspire the kind of change that would be beneficial for the space? That's generally my thought process when I come across something online. And like going, fuck you, you racist piece of shit. Fuck you. It's not. All it's gonna do is now you've turned a potential racist to a thoroughbred racist. like
upgraded.
You digivolved the racist, and now it's gonna be somebody else's problem down the line.
Yeah,
like just a little bit of empathy can create a lot of change in the world. I truly believe that. I have to believe that. So if
and then
you can't be empathetic,
you'll know yourself, and like when it's with strangers and you can't judge like how much change potential they have, because sometimes you'll come across somebody, you'll meet them with empathy and you'll be like, oh, actually you were already digivolved completely. Fuck you, bye. And that's fair. That's a judgment call you should absolutely make. My judgment call baseline is I don't have the energy for this. Fuck you until I see you doing better. Most of the time though, I don't know who these people are. I've never heard of them. We have no people in common. So I'm not going to see them. I'm just like, I'm going to stay away from you to protect myself. Hopefully some white person or somebody will take you by the hand and be like, hey, don't be a cunt. But like, until then, stay away from me.
Yeah.
But in general, like, yeah, there's a lot of just straight up barking. I when I look at like tweets where people are dogpiling on something that I think is probably already several tweet threads removed from the original issue, I'm just like, those like you drive by like that one house in the neighborhood where there's like 80 chihuahuas that are like always awake and they will let you know. That's what that's like. Is I just feel like I'm driving by and I see like a Twitter thread about an issue of an issue of an issue of an issue that has nothing to do with the original thing that happened, but people are just yelling about it. I'm just like, and I'm like, okay.
not getting involved in that shit. Like, yeah, I absolutely. I'm gonna start calling them chihuahuas when I see that shit.
There's something also that you have to remember too, is that there are certain accounts that are literally built on the back of negative engagement.
Yeah,
that's all they're there for, is to post shitty takes and have you dunk on them so that they can get more of their own shitty following.
Yep, and then they have their counterparts in the performative activists whose literally entire platform is just dunking on people so that they can be like, look what a good ally I am, or look what a good activist I am. And I'm like, have you ever built a house? I have. Have you ever built a house? Have you ever actually helped a person? Have you ever mentored a person? Have you ever given somebody the tools? Have you ever connected somebody in a space? Have you ever done anything helpful in your life to this space or to the people that you claim to protect? Or are you just trying to feel big and like be like, I dunked on a racist. Look at this.
Yeah.
What did that do?
I gotta that brings up something that I saw once. To this day, it's still like, it's infuriating. I went to one of the protests that we had here in Chicago during the whole everything. And like, there was just a group of people just taking selfies and wrecking shit. Like, you know what? If you want to take a selfie, that's fine. But don't take a selfie and then wreck shit. And then, and then hide behind your white skin. I have to say it. Like, it's just, bro, like, I saw this dude. To this day, I still wish I knew who he was so I could fuck him up. He took a picture in front of the bank, and then took his skateboard and just started whacking this bank's window. And I'm like, you motherfucker. White boy, green hair. Like, oh.
I remember seeing those pictures and being like, of people that were actually at the protest taking pictures of like the white people co-opting the protest and like fucking shit up. And it's just like, just go to a rage room. They're really not expensive, especially if you go with a group. You get like a discounted price, and you can fuck shit up in the safety of a fucking environment where you've paid to do so without co-opting and hurting actual like people with an issue.
Hold on, I need to actually look up a rage room.
Oh,
I think you would enjoy a rage room very thoroughly.
I think
They're
I might
great. They give you a baseball bat. They've got TVs. They've got all sorts. They give you safety goggles and shit. They give you gloves. They give you a hammer, like a sledgehammer type thing. They give you a baseball bat. You can absolutely go ham. You can choose, like, do you want it like a small thing where like they give you some small appliances? They give you dishes you can fucking break. They give you like small packages, like one TV, some mid-sized electric appliances, and a bunch of dishes. Or you can go like whole hog and get a bunch of fucking electronics that you can just beat the shit out of.
Like
you get 30 minutes.
You can get a
you
table
get 30 minutes in the
flip.
room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you can absolutely wreck the shit out of everything in there. It's great. I advocate very highly for them. I think it's a very safe way to get out aggression.
It's only $98.
Yeah, and you can go with friends.
Yeah.
I recommend being very careful if there's more than one person in the room, but in general, they're quite safe, and they are very they're typically, if it's a good place, obviously, very adamant about keeping it safe.
Yeah. There's one premium item, a monitor, a printer, or a surprise, one small item, phone, keyboard, music system, DVD player, and a mix of 7 standard items, plates, glass, bottles.
Yeah, you can all, there's I'm just looking at like rage rooms, and yeah, there's one that's like it's a combo axe throwing and rage room, so you can like live your barbarian dreams.
There is not enough money on this world to get me to throw an axe for how many people I've seen hit themselves in the back of the head with the wrong end of it. No.
Yeah, that's true.
That is one of those things where like sometimes I will tell my friends that I think white people need more natural enemies because they do a lot of dumb shit because they don't have enough
predators.
of them.
It's true.
And that's like a thing that I say, but it's also scientifically been proven that they engage that group of people is higher, like much more likely to engage in high risk behavior because they don't have natural stressors.
I will say,
right, though.
I will say,
right.
white people clearly need more predators, but they act like everybody is their predator, which is just like.
But that is a sign that they need more of them. They don't know what it's actually like to have one. So the moment you like say like excuse me, you can't say the N-word, they're like, I'm being oppressed, and it's like, I can try to oppress you, but that's not what that was.
Like
I might catch shit actually for this because I just I had an audio gig. I won't say what it is, and I won't say the N-word. I've never said it in my life. Not going to start. I'm Indigenous. I'm not Black. Not going to say it. And it was in the script, and I just didn't say it. And I haven't heard back from them yet about that blank spaces in the script, but I'm not saying it. So I don't know what they're going to do, but we are at a stalemate right now.
I'm sorry, I'm just watching our moderator just go ham in the chat, and I love it. Look, if for $20, if you as a white person really need to say the N-word, I will say it for you.
Here's the thing. If they end up hiring a Black voice actor just to say that word, that is both worse and also better than if they just said it themselves.
Right? Like, I'm like,
but it's
bad,
still worse.
But...
because I'm like, I don't know why is this, what?
Yeah, let me change just real quick. Followers only to a 30-minute timer. Actually, we'll do 10.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah, just because we already had one troll in chat, so let's do just a 10-minute timer. Just make sure.
No worries. I always do that for mine, and then I'm very grateful to all of my Twitch followers just for being there, but I'm also very grateful because a lot of them do engage in chat, and I know that means that they had to sitting on their thought for 10 minutes. And I'm just like, I really appreciate you sticking around. That is very sweet. Like, so sweet. Thank you. I've been very lucky there.
It's been a minute since we've attracted trolls, so I wonder what made that happen. Somebody just you know what? I'm not.
I hope
I'm not
it's
gonna
not my
say
Instagram following. My Instagram following is not TTRPG people. My Instagram following is a lot of lovely cosplayers and then a lot of white men who want to fuck me. So, my bad.
You're good.
You're absolutely fine. Jeez. Like I gotta say, like that is a whole aspect of being a public facing internet figure that that adds a whole other layer of difficulty, because it's the same. Like, you can never really trust somebody's intentions is essentially what it is. And it kind of sucks. And we should just give
it's rough. I have what Jess at Utopia calls autistic gut and like intuition, which means that my gut is usually always right. It's just that I had unfortunately trained myself most of my life to not listen to it. But now I do. And I'm mostly correct. I do, however, still accidentally wander in good faith into things where I'm just like, oh, you're a predator. Okay. Oh, I gotta leave. Whew. That was close.
Like, predators kind of fuck everything up for everybody. And I just, the thing is, there is no one uniform predator. Predators come in all shapes, sizes, orientations.
They want different things. And then you learn how to clock one thing. I'm like, okay, you want to try to fuck me. I see you. I recognize you instantly. I don't recognize people that want to exercise control over me. Because that's one that, like, without that component, very hard to recognize when it's happening, because when it is happening, it's humiliating. And that overwhelms you so much that you don't know, you can't recognize anything because you're busy trying to, like, not die of, like, embarrassment in the moment that you're in, and, like, trying to, like, make yourself feel secure and safe and stable. And then afterwards you go like, what the fuck was that? Was I overreacting? Blah, blah, blah. Nope. But it's very difficult to, like, clock it. And then some people have a very false image of my, I don't know, reach, connectivity. I don't know. But I will have people pop up and try to take a lot of my time because they think it's going to, I don't know, make them feel famous, which is insane to me, because who the fuck am I? First of all, but I have had episodes because, like, I do a lot of guested shows. E-Crit is a guested show. Cringe Warning is a guested show in half. I used to do guests on Cam Girl Interrupted. I no longer accept guests for Cam Girl Interrupted. That is my show alone. I'm not doing that anymore. But
I feel like there's a story there, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
There's several. They all boil down to this. Sometimes people will ask me to be on the show. And initially, when people would ask me to be on the show, it was usually like the show was not as big as it was. Like, Cam Girl Interrupted is my biggest show. And I love it very, very dearly. It's very important to me. And it's an adult entertainment industry resource podcast for other adult entertainment, like, industry performers of all kinds. We do we cover full service, stripping, in-person, digital, all of it. Also, because, like, as a sex worker, a lot of times you've done most of those categories, if not a large spread of them. So basically it was like mistakes and shit that I've made, safety things, so that baby sex workers and new ones, and even sometimes you can be in this industry for God knows how long and still not know some things. Just like, it's a resource podcast, so you can try to avoid getting fucked over or sick or injured or anything, and try to, like, make your best bag, live your best life. So I have a lot of people now that pitch to be on the show that they don't have anything of value to, again, ask yourself, what am I contributing? And be nice to yourself, because a lot of times people will do that to themselves and be like, I don't have anything to contribute. No, look without self-deprecating, objectively, what are you bringing to the table? What topics do you want to discuss, etc.? What knowledge are you bringing? Just on a base factual level. okay, I have a lot of expertise in this area I think will help people because they would need it and I can deliver it. Great. There's no self-deprecation possible. You know this area, you can come to this platform, you can bring people this knowledge. Sick. A lot of people, however, will come to me and just be like, yeah, I'd love to be on the show. I do this and this. I think we could talk about it. And I'm like, okay, cool. Or I was like, okay, cool. Now I don't. But and then I would get into the recording. And I would tell them, I give my guests a rundown, like you guys gave me, like I tell them this is the segment of the show. This is how long it runs. These are the questions I'm going to ask you. Are you comfortable with everything? Usually we've already discussed things at length. All of my shows use safety tools. Like we discuss at length what is going to come up on the show, what could come up on the show. And I tell them like, this is not like, it's not live. This is edited. If even tomorrow you wake up with regret and you wish you hadn't said something, I will cut it out. We will deal with it. I will postpone the episode. I will private it. I will do whatever. We will make it work. I've had a lot of people come up and then I'm sitting there and I'm recording and one person genuinely has sat there like this the whole episode, which is 45 minutes typically. We were done in 15. And I told them like, go on a tangent, go over my time. I want to hear about your expertise in this. And I would ask them an open-ended, not yes or no question. As always, as is my job, which I take very seriously. And I will ask them something and they'll be like, yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
And then it's weird when that look gets in where it's just like, oh, you have a crush on me. And it's never a conceited thing. And I've gotten over like, I know it sounds conceited. No, it fucking happens and it's gross. It's really fucking weird because it's extremely dehumanizing. How many people literally are just there to try to like, I don't know, digitally smash or something. It's so weird.
It's like they're there to get like access to your time.
Yeah, it's so weird. And then like the show was over and I was struggling to try and get us to at least 20 minutes. Like I was truly pulling questions I had not like thought of before, just out of my ass.
That's
trying to be
worst.
Like, talk, please talk. And then they're just like, and then the show, like it was over and I was exhausted. And I was like, I've been on calls that were 8 hours long and felt better than I feel right now. I'm exhausted. What the fuck? And like, I will just be like, thank you for being on the show. They'll be like, I had such a great time. Did you? How?
I couldn't tell.
And then all they do is stare at you and like,
oh.
And it's just like, is your face okay? Like, what are you doing? It is wild to me. Luckily, it doesn't happen that often, but I have had people where it's just like, you just wanted to be a guest on a show. Doesn't matter that this is a new show, so it doesn't even have a following yet, or like that this is a show like that has a purpose that you don't care about. Like, if you were gonna waste my time, maybe, I don't know, don't. Why? And then those episodes don't air.
I mean, there are better ways for you to like, you know, get attention.
Yeah. I mean, you won't get it from me anyway, because I don't give attention to anybody really that I don't like. I suss out everybody that interacts with me. If I don't interact with you,
there's probably a reason for it.
I'm very transparent. I've never pretended to like somebody that I didn't like. I can be polite and professional, but I'm not going to be like overly friendly or pretend that I care.
Yeah.
If I like don't like somebody. Also, I'm autistic in my face. I can try. And but you'll be able to tell. Like if somebody talks to me and I don't like them in person, you'll tell because my face will go. And mostly the thing is, I'm not even mad. I don't get upset. I don't have like harbor hatred or dislike. It's more confusion of like, I'm so obvious with how much I don't like you. Why the fuck are you still wasting your time talking to someone who doesn't like you? I don't get it.
It's like they're purposely annoying or avoiding the social cues that say like, hey, I'm not having fun with this interaction. Please back off.
I have literally to people's faces had to be like, I don't like you. And we don't have to talk together. We don't work together. This is a room full of people you could be talking to. Why are you talking to me?
Like I think I have some insight on the other side of that. In there are people that genuinely believe that they are entitled to your time or to a relationship with you and that kind of stuff. I have seen people who like, oh, they just don't get that I'm the person that they should be dating yet. So if I'm around them enough, they'll finally put it together. And it's just like, that's
not
how that works.
If I put enough friendship tokens, I will eventually get sex or a relationship.
That's always been a big one. That's usually it. They're just like, oh yeah, I deserve to be on the show. And it's like, first of all, why? Second of all, my time is not invaluable. My time is actually extremely expensive. Don't what? But yeah, I always, so here's the thing. I did genuinely have audio trouble last season because as a lot of people might know, I finally switched to recording out of her and using software. Whereas like the first seasons of all of my shows, because I will get this done to the best of my abilities and I will learn on the job. First two seasons of Camera Interrupted were on my old iPhone, which was an iPhone 6 that I don't have, like this. And I would hit stop and I would hit upload. And that's the entire first season, because I was like, this is important to me. This is the best I can do. This is the best I have money for right now. But I'm going to fucking do this and I will make it better as I go. And I have, but like, I've been fucking sticking with the shit. It's very important to me. And then to have people like come on to my shows and waste my time and make me uncomfortable. No. So I've had tech issues with the last season where I genuinely accidentally, I didn't know if you mute your master output in Reaper and then you render an episode, it renders at the master output level that you had it in. You will get a 28-minute episode that is completely silent because there is no peaks.
Yep.
So I did lose 2 or 3 episodes. Technically, though, I have stated that I lost a lot more than that because when I had an episode like that, it is often with a creator in the community where I was like, it's in our both best interests if I don't air this. So I'm not going to. So I've been like, oh, I'm so sorry I lost our episode. And like, sometimes I did. Sometimes I didn't.
Yeah, I recently, I did an interview on another project where I was talking with somebody, and it was a really good interview, but then they kind of came said some left field shit, and so like the whole time I'm in the interview, I've got my trusty dusty pencil, and I'm just like, okay, timestamp this, timestamp that, because like I know I've gotta chop and screw this motherfucker like I'm T-Pain, like it's just. or else we're all gonna have a bad time. Like, yeah. So I understand that, and also you touched on something that we've actually started to experience. Like Morning Ritual started off as like this weird little project, and now people want to be on it. And like there's a right way to ask to be on a show, and there's a wrong way to ask. And the wrong way to ask is, so when am I going to be on? Like, whoa.
There's a couple. There's the other wrong way is to bypass me and go to Noir.
Yeah. Like people don't understand. Yeah, people don't understand. Like this channel is critical misses. Like Anita runs everything. Like I am just blessed to be along for the ride. And I think that there's this idea that the more masculine presenting person is clearly the one that's in charge. I am not. And I don't know if it's that or like follower count or whatever, but like I tell people, Anita's like, if you want access to anything here, it's Anita that you go to. And some motherfuckers just refuse to leave.
Well, it was the circumstance, I think, that I will be as vague about this as possible, is that I didn't give them a straight answer, so they went to Noir.
I hate that. I hate that for you. I hate that in general. Yeah, I hate that. I hate when people come up and just like, when can I be on the show?
Yeah.
To do what?
What you got? Like, what you got?
I tell people that you can pitch me. But I actually do want a Word doc. I want a Word doc outline of what you bring to the show, why you want to be on it, exactly what you'll be discussing. Because like, that's what I do. If I ever pitch myself to be on a thing, especially with somebody I don't know, I will be like, I would really love to do this. And I pitch them because now this is a business thing. This is like a transactional thing where they don't know me. This isn't, oh, I'm going to have my friend who does cool shit on my show. This is, I don't know this person. And I think that I could maybe help be a good fit for this. I will ask them like, hey, are you accepting pitches? That's a big one. Are you even accepting shit? Are you accepting guests? Can I even apply to this? And it's like, sorry, we only do people that we have vetted and we have picked. Absolutely fine, totally fine. That's how I do my shit. I get it. But if they say yes, be like, can I send you a pitch? Just also asking for permission. So nice.
Yeah.
Such a nice thing to do. Just a basic like respect thing also. Cause like I'm also very busy. So if you just dump a bunch of Word docs I'm not gonna read them.
Yo, so I got really super duper stoned last night and did a whole fucking thread about, you know, being in the actual play stream and like seeing people win and like seeing people like kind of, you know, get successes where it feels like you're always getting failures, right? And in my time in this space, I have always just kind of like, hey, if there's any room for somebody, you know, holler at your boy. I have not once ever thought to do any of the shit that you just said. Like, that's no, I'm being so fucking serious. That's brilliant. And I can already see like, oh, that would open so many more doors of just going, hey, are you accepting pitches? If you are, here's how we're mutually beneficial. I've never done that. And I even with the meager shit that I've done, I've got like when I woke up this morning, there was this gentleman in my DMs.
Gentleman, I've never heard gentleman derogatory before, but here we are.
I need that on a shirt.
This gentleman had a problem with the thread that I posted because they were just like, what do you mean people are going to be able to make a living doing actual plays? Like, just because and they just...
It's extremely hard. And you can't.
You can't. No. Like, and that's not a derogatory thing. Like, they did this whole dissertation in my motherfucking DMs. I only read 3.
I hate an unsolicited dissertation. Do I look like your professor?
I'm not grading this shit.
And like I was a professor, but I'm not yours. And this doesn't look like it's about intro to linguistic like data analysis. So don't.
I'll need some citations on this pitch, please.
Yeah.
I mean, this motherfucker, like, and again, I'm not judging people by follower count, but what I am saying is that this motherfucker was telling me about how actual plays actually work and how you can make a living doing it. And I promise you that they had 3 people following them on their Twitch. I'm like, come on, buddy. You haven't put in the work. You haven't put in the time.
It's always the people that don't know shit that are just like, actually, I saw a documentary once about Matt Mercer and how he makes money. And it's just like, so you're like 80 different kinds of stupid. Interesting.
Oh my God. Wow. Did you read it? Because you're almost quoting it verbatim.
I felt it in my bones. It's like my spidey sense. No, I tell people this. I almost posted something last night. And you know what? I'm probably not going to post it, but I will read it if you guys want it. Because I was just like, I don't want the discourse right now. I don't want to get attacked. I'm tired. But like, I do get a lot of people praising me for the amount of work that I do. And the fact that like, every time I see you, you're always working. Yeah, I'm poor. I'm poor. I don't have any parents. I have nobody. I have no family. I have been on my own since I was a minor. I have nobody to fall back on. I have an adoptive dad who is extremely ill, who has no money. That's it. He can't help me. He's never been able to. Love him. He can't do anything for me. I am almost 30 years old. I am in a country that I've only been in for 3 years, most of which was in a pandemic. So I still feel like I just got off like the proverbial boat here. I don't know how a lot of this shit works. I'm physically disabled. So I can't just, you're not going to see me in Starbucks because I can't see over the counter. Like they're not going to hire me. I can't get into most places. I can't get to most places with the wheelchair because ironically, I'm too disabled to move it by myself. So like I can't just get a job most places.
Yeah.
Working remotely is very like, it's also not like the easiest thing, and it's hard to find a job that works. Plus I'd like to have a job that doesn't make me want to K my S. So I'd like posted like it's very weird to me when people tell me like, oh, like flood me with like, I'm so impressed by how much you do all the time. And it's just like, I don't have a choice. I have to try to make a living doing this shit. And honestly, I don't. And people don't like to talk about it because like the actual reality of poverty, people do not like to discuss. And then like what some people will allow you to say is like, you can maybe, and it's very degrading still, because if you ask for help, but you don't, and I've noticed this because I've had to crowdfund several things. If you ask for help and you come from a place of admitting you need help, admitting you need a community, and not humiliating yourself, people don't help you. They don't see it. They don't click on it. They don't help you. You have to prostrate yourself, all of your identities, and you have to humiliate yourself and talk about how much you hate that you have to do this, and you will get more help. And I hate that. But the other reason that like I hate it, like the whole thing is like, you can maybe ask for like, I need help with my medication. I need help with the move. Telling people though that you're short on rent, iffy if you'll get help, and telling somebody that you are food insecure, big taboo, big no-no. But that's my biggest thing. And people are just like, I love that you make a living. I'm like, I don't. I pay kind of rent sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of the times it's a lot of like really scrunching shit together to make sure that I'm not homeless, which is my first priority. And then after that, let's see how much food I have.
Yeah.
Like my grocery budget was $40 a month for the last year and a half. And people, and I'm not going to hide that. I'm very transparent about it. Even though people will like, every time I say it, people are shocked. And it's like, yeah, I know, because when I talk about it, nobody retweets that. Nobody talks about that shit because they don't want to talk about it. But like making a living in this space like this as like a starving artist, literally horrible. It's so stressful. The quality of my work would be so much better. I could do so much more if I wasn't constantly like about to have an eye twitch over like my housing situation and food. Like it's incredible. The starving artist thing is one of the most bogus ass like mythological like things where people really idolize it, and it's just like, this isn't great. This is not a before story. I am not a cute success story. It's not good. This is really horrible. It's also very bad for like your health, your mental state. Like it's bad for your work. It's bad for your relationships, because like it's hard to be a very happy-go-lucky person if you've only had Cheerios for the last 72 like hours. Like it's difficult, and people do not do not like to talk about that. So when you talk about like making a living in the space, you can make a I'm not homeless in this space if you're very, very lucky and don't like to eat much.
Yeah,
but it's hard.
When I was doing the move, I had gone 8 months without my medicine, and it was really starting to play games with my head for a while there. And it's just like I people, I think they get in their head that if you are taking part in actual plays with brands and that kind of stuff, that you're raking it in. But honestly, for actual play, the low end is around $25 and the high end is $150.
And that's not per hour. That's for your 3 to 4 hour show.
Yeah,
exactly.
That. I know
the only reason that I have
like
make a living is because like I get to work with like the small new company of Roll that pays a baseline of $50 an hour for admin shit. They're very open about it. They're very transparent. And like for streaming and for guesting, it's like 75 up an hour.
And that's why a lot of like your favorite your favorite actual players are spending more and more time streaming Twitch on their own channel.
Yeah.
Like look at Sephi, look at Critical Bard, look at all of them. Like I mean, and these are people that, have made it onto Roll20 or Dimension 20, worked with, Roll20 or whatever. Like they've
20s.
worked, all the 20s. They've worked with all these major companies, but they're still spending more and more time streaming on Twitch. That's because it's great. Actual plays, wonderful to build a community, wonderful to get an audience, all that kind of stuff. Having followers does not equal money. 10,000 followers is not $10,000. So we have to find a way to convert that. I swear to God, we have to find a way to convert that, which, people have chosen Twitch as a way to do it. But don't think for a second that motherfuckers are out here eating just because they're playing in a Wizards of the Coast game.
Truly, no, it's, and I will continue to love working with brands. Hi, hello. And I will continue to love, but also sometimes I'll have people. I've had people notice, and these are not people that are close to me, because if they were close to me, they wouldn't have said this. Be like, you only take paid stuff all about it. It's like, yeah.
I can only
like
afford
eating
to take paid stuff.
Yeah, I can't afford to take on 80 unpaid things. And even if it doesn't pay, it's also paying me doesn't mean paying me a lot. It just means I get to do this fun project and not feel awful about it and stress about the fact that I'm not making any money. Some shows, I might just get $25 an episode. I don't care. Pay me, that's fine, that's great. But if you're not paying me, I have to prioritize the shit that is currently paying me so that I may continue to make things. Because as I've often said, it's very difficult for me to stream if I don't have a home.
And that's why one of the things that I also want to encourage with everybody is to have a rate sheet, is to have that one sheet so that it's easier. Honestly, brands are lazy. I know, because I'm now working for a brand and it's my job to do things like put actual plays together. And the less work I got to do to find out how much you cost,
the better,
the easier. So
I've had to up a lot of people's rates, because I'll just be because you and I work on my show, my talk show for Roll. All of my guests make $75 an hour for 2 hours. The show is an hour, but I'm including the tech and the stuff in between. So we come out to 2 hours every time. So all of my guests made $150 that we pay through PayPal or however their thing is. Usually it's PayPal. But when I tell people that, a lot of the reaction is oh my God, really? And it's just you're giving me 2 hours of your time for my talk show that is my baby and the little creative love of my life. Yeah. Now that I can that I have a company behind me for this, absolutely they want to pay you for your time. And that should be the standard, especially because a lot of companies can afford to do that. They just don't. And then a lot of times companies, if you say oh, I think my rate is 20 something an hour, they're not going to be as kind as Bebo and say your rate should be higher. Which the first thing in the first meeting we had was I was told yeah, your rate for admin stuff should be at least $50. Should be $50 an hour. And I was just all right.
Let's play a little inside baseball here. Let's really kind of get into it. These companies all want actual plays to happen to show off their product. They see the success of Critical Role and they're like, we got to get us some of that. All right. First off, if it's hard for us to find your price, you now have given the power to the brands to dictate your price, because no one has set a standard. Nobody has set a standard. Nobody has gone, this is how much I cost publicly. So that's the first thing as a community that we need to do. And it can't be $20 for 3 hours of your time. It can't be $15 for 3 hours of your time. And if that is a viable option, because people are well, I love playing D&D, so I'll just, give me a cookie and I'll be happy, then you fuck the community as a whole.
Yep.
$75, in my opinion, is still too low, but if you must pick a rate, $75 is a comfortable one that most brands will be
why is
it's
that?
a lot, but I'll do it. Who is Glyza raising a knife at now? Calm down.
No knife. Glyza was just very sweet and tipped me, and I'm like, Glyza, stop it! You already paid for my groceries this month, please. Glyza is the person. Thank you for buying I Spy, which by the way is out and everybody should buy. Thank you for buying I Spy. I love you. I was gonna just send it to you, but because I also do the thing with my friends where I'm just like, let me give you the shit that I made for free, and I shove it in their faces. He's like, look at this cool thing I made. I can't wait for you to buy it. Here, just take it.
Hey, yo, send us a link to I Spy so we can put it in chat.
I'm going to drop that here in the chat. In why do I keep wanting to say Skype? It's because it's blue. Zoom. It's very confusing.
You're good.
But yeah, I've got what's an itch? What's an itch URL? I'm going to look for that. But yeah, thank you guys for buying I Spy. I just can't remember like the order in which my like fucking itch is. Like I always put like itch.io/ because I think about Twitch. But yeah,
it autofills for you.
It's usually username.itch.io.
There we go. And I had to remember what I named the I Spy thing. But thank you for buying I Spy. But yeah, that's I dropped it here in the chat so you guys can.
And I threw it in the Twitch chat so that way people can say,
go pick up I Spy. Do it, and buy another copy for your friends.
Also, there's 2 hacks for it coming out now. One of which was inspired by Glyza, which is an Artemis Fowl hack that I am halfway through writing and creating streaming kits for.
Okay.
That's a big thing also in accessibility that I've noticed in game design that I would like, that I see starting, and I would really like it to continue because I think it's extremely important. Is like, I have always tried to make, even when I was like a little baby game designer, 2 days ago. And I like to make streaming kits for my games when I design them. And partially also because like, there's a lot of really creative people out there who just don't know how to make a streaming kit. And it's not that they're hard. It's like, they don't even know where to start. They don't know what it needs to have. They don't know the dimensions. They don't know whatever, but I do. So I can make you like one that doesn't have my like branding on it. I will drop it with the game. And even if you only use it to like record, even if you don't stream, you just want to make like a home video of your friends playing, I don't know, Forever 41. Then you can, like my other game or one of my other games, then you can grab the streaming kit, you can pop it in your thing, you can make yourselves a nice little video, and then you have that. Or you can like put, thank you. And then you can put that up there and you can start to like stream. And you can have a nice looking professional stream. And you're not, because I know like, because just because I started Camgirl Interrupted and my podcast network from an iPhone 6 on my couch like this, I don't want people to have to start like that. If I can help you start further along than I had to, that's my whole point. That's all I want to do. And it makes it very accessible. And honestly, it's not hard to create multiple streaming kits. I Spy has 4 streaming kits just in its base thing. For people with photosensitive issues, there's 2 still image alternatives. And then there's 2 versions, one of each still image and animated, that has a green screen at the bottom for closed captions.
Perfect.
It's not hard.
Fucking dope. Hold on, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of getting this right now. But like again, that's this Twitter class, going back to that unrefined idea. It's all about making sure that everything is accessible and open for the next person, and I fucking love that. We need more of that in our community and less racist, toxic, sexist, and abusive bullshit. Like I can't. Oh man, okay, fuck it. Like, we gave so much money to Swordfall.
I had never heard of that person until everything came out, and I was just like, oh no.
We gave so much money. And the thing is, like, that is somebody that was, even before we found out just the depths of how bad it was, this was somebody who fed off of arguments and generally being mean. Like, we don't need mean in this space. Mean is not powerful. Like, there are so many big names in this space that get on by just, yelling at folks all the time. I hate that shit. It costs nothing to be nice or to be silent.
Literally, it's the lack of an action. It's so easy to just like, don't do this shit. Don't do that. And yet,
because the thing is, when you describe the ecosystem perfectly, which is there are people that get on by having people dogpile on them, and then there are people who get on by initiating the dogpile. It is this ecosystem of shit that is just like call out Twitter, call out TikTok, all that shit that feeds the beast. We don't need that in our space. For every fucking dumb shit racist that gets dunked on, you know what? Send $10 to a creator that really just inspires you. You don't have $10? Send $1. Send 50 cents. If everybody is going, you know what, that motherfucker's racist, so let me help somebody else. If everybody did that instead of like just being a dickhead.
Yeah. Or like they pat themselves on the back for it too, is the richest part. They will perform their little like dunk and then be like, I did the good thing today. And then they will continue on with their lives. And it's like, you helped no one. You helped no one. You helped no one. You've done absolutely nothing to assist, to support.
It's anyone. The tuxedo mask meme. My work here is done, but you didn't actually do anything.
Literally. Like every time somebody posts about the Turf Wizard game, I'm just like, you could just buy mine. I'm trans. You could just buy mine. I got a bunch of games. For the cost of that game, you think you could buy all of my games?
I mean, if you think about it, haven't we been outraged enough and for long enough?
Are we not shocked? Like if you need me to make a public long call out post every time something happens to know that I am a good person, then my work is obviously not speaking for itself as it should. I'm loud as fuck. Anybody should know where I stand on everything. Also, you can just look at me, be like, oh yeah, that's an indigenous person. I'm gonna assume they hate whoever the fuck racist shit that's spouting. Like, common sense. You'd hope, you'd wish, but like, you can look at my work. All of my, like, a lot of my games, like, they have straight up like disclaimers at the front of like, you can be super creative with this. Don't be racist. I don't want you to play my game.
Nikki goes, I also wonder how many private beefs should stay private. I have a thought on this.
Oh yeah.
Which is a lot of these people that build up their following and they have clout and tens and thousands of followers. The reason that their private beefs don't stay private is because you can't use your followers as a cudgel if you solve things privately.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Good day, Lauren.
Bye, Lauren. Have fun with the swords.
So it's just, you know, I think what the last thing I'm going to say on this before I ask you one of our standard questions here at Morning Ritual is that if you are blessed enough to have a followership, earn it. You know, if you are lucky enough to have a community that gives even the slightest shit about what you do and where you're going, try to be somebody that's worthy of it. Don't get jaded by it. Don't be a dickhead that abuses them. Just be better. Now, Brandy.
Oh boy.
I'm scared to ask this because this could potentially break my heart. But
oh no.
There is a war going on in the TTRPG community between those who believe that dice.
Why would you set me up like this?
That believe that dice are the forbidden candy and should be crunched, and those of us that think that is dangerous because it could damage your teeth and it's a choking hazard. We've asked this of every guest that has come onto our show. So, Brandy, I now ask you, what side of this war are you on? Are you on Team Stop the Crunch, or are you on the Crunch crew?
I'm on Team Stop the Crunch. Oh, thank God. That shit. No. Here's the thing. I am autistic, very big on the sensory shit. I unfortunately had a thing when I was a small child, smallish, small enough that this still makes sense. Where like, you know, like in the 90s, you could go, shut up, Glaza, you knew this. That like, you knew this. Every time I see Glaza concise, I'm like, spit it out. Spit it out. Out. Bad. Don't. So dangerous, such a choking hazard, terrifying. You know, in the 90s, you could like, you know, there's like those little machines where you put a quarter in and like sometimes like you could get a toy, but some of them had like crystals and rocks, like very smooth, polished, like little rocks.
The tumble
rocks. Yeah. I got one of those in my throat when I was like 4 or 5 and I like died. Actually, I'm obviously fine now. But it wasn't a fun time. And so, and like, it was, it's very scary. I assume I only remember half of it. I was unconscious for the rest. But like, I am so terrified of ever choking on anything again. There's not enough money in the world for me to put something not edible in my mouth.
As someone who did that with a peppermint once when they were little, terrifying. Horrifying.
I love a lifesaver. I love a lifesaver with the little hole. Yeah. I love a lifesaver. They're great. I also have always, and this is probably why I've never made the connection, but it's probably why I crunch lollipops. I crunch like suckers. I crunch like any hard or like this ish size thing, crunch immediately. I break it with my teeth instantly. I chew it and I swallow it. But to be fair, I also chew ice cream.
I do too. It's fun.
Good.
Yes. This is a safe space for ice cream chewers.
I'm very anti-crunch. Please don't crunch. Please do not eat your dice. That's
yeah.
Also, here's the thing. Sometimes I gotta borrow dice. I have mesophobia. I think that's how you say it in English. I have a germ thing. Here's the thing. One thing you will never see me do is touch somebody else's phone. Ever. Do you know why? Because I was a sex worker and I used to do cam to cam. And do you know, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this here, but I'm gonna, do you know how many people will like have their phone and be, you know, and then come on your face on the phone. They come all over their phone. Not enough disinfectant in the world. Yeah.
No.
And that happens a lot.
So many phones. I've touched so many phones.
I will never touch somebody else's phone. I will never ever touch somebody else's phones. Ever, ever, ever. I will not hold your phone. I like not directly. I will maybe with a glove or like somehow, but I'm not. Yeah, I will not. That's a PSA. Do not touch other people's phones. Also disinfect your phone thoroughly. I'm not judging you. I am kind of, but I'm not really judging you. We all do things, I guess. I don't know. But I need you all to disinfect your phones on a regular basis. Also because you touch things, you know, like you touch doorknobs. God knows what's touched the doorknob. Just disinfect your shit, but disinfect your phones on a regular basis and don't touch other people's phones.
I'm so glad my last 2 phones have been brand new, but the one before that was refurbished.
Nope.
I would also like, hey Nikki, can you send me the link for that site also, because that would be nice. I love a nice bingo. But yeah, that's
Mar leaves their desk.
So I'm not gonna touch something. I'm not gonna touch something that's been in your mouth.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I'm not borrowing dice from anybody ever. I will literally just pull up rolladie.net on my phone. Yeah. And use that before I borrow dice from somebody.
You can just Google search roll a d20 and it'll do that for you.
And you listen here, you motherfuckers. If I hear word of anybody busting nuts on dice, I'm slapping everybody on the planet like I'm Will Smith. Like, I don't give a shit. There's some things we don't do. And if that's a kink, yeah, I'm kink shaming you. Okay.
It's here's the thing.
We don't kink shame in the stream, but we are kink disappointed.
Yeah, we are. I am kink disappointed. I'm going to take that for Camgirl Interrupted. Thank you. But yeah, it's terrifying. Thank you, Sphinx, for clipping me. Sphinx is one of my biggest followers also, and I love very dearly. Thank you very much for all of this support.
Sphinx is the backbone of the TTRPG community. Seriously. Thank
you. But yeah, it's the first time that happened to me, I you can hear me on the mic, and I saw that happen, and I couldn't help it. It just came out. I said, ew. And then I hung up. And they texted, did you just say ew? My roommate did something really gross. Sorry. I wanted to die. He did not book me again.
Can I just say that I've never been a sex worker, but it kind of sounds like being in character.
It is a persona. Anybody who ever says, oh, just be yourself, they're fucking lying, and they're probably a client-facing account. You should never be any aspect of who you really are in sex work. You will absolutely lose your mind.
Right. It sounds like it's a character that you're playing.
And I just broke character a little bit accidentally.
You're right, but it's like TTRPG but harder, because it's like you have to stay in character while somebody is on the other side of the table just doing some gross shit.
Yeah, and you have to pretend. Here's the thing: you have to pretend to like it, to love it. This is the thing that, like, one of my friends who's also a sex worker. She was mainly a stripper. I've also been a stripper, but it's been a hot minute. There's a thing that we say. You're not queer here. You're not a lesbian. You're not trans. You don't get to do that. You do not get to do that. You have got to be a cis woman who loves dick and men. You have got to love dick and men and all the things that come with them while you are working. That's why this is a hard job. That's why not everybody can do this job. Yeah. It's hard to have to like really completely suppress who you are. And balance that with like making sure that you have your lines that you can't cross, so that you can still go to bed at the end of the day and not be like, my God. But like and sometimes you still have to go through the day and be like, oh my God, I had to let that guy fucking talk to me about like blank, 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 blank. But like that's why not everybody can do that shit. It's hard. Yeah. And then there's gonna be people that like had a big following already and then made an OnlyFans. And they're just like, well, I can be myself and I can be trans. And you had a huge following that liked your personality and you monetized your personality. Almost every other sex worker in the whole world, that's not the angle that we're able to come at that from. You build your following through your work, which means you have to be what they perceive you to be, and you have to love them.
I'm just saying, like, so I've caught glimpses of my own dick on the periphery of my eyesight, and I'm like, ah! So I don't know how you're supposed to see a string.
It's so hard. Oh my God. It is extremely stressful. It's very difficult. It's very hard work. I've been a sex worker since I was 18, so on and off. So it's hard. It's really hard.
What?
People say a lot of shit where you just have to be like, that's nice. Oh.
Strip joints are just like, some of the guys I've seen in there, I'm just like, oh no.
I can only afford to say this shit because I'm pretty sure none of my client base that would care about me like disliking it are here right now. But like, if they are, my bad. I'm just joking. I love it. But yeah, it's the voice actor jumps out at the worst time.
You slip into that character and it's hilarious every time.
Oh my God, no, I really love comic books. I've been into them like I have been, but like I've been like really curious about them. So what's like your favorite? If they're like paying by the minute, like what's your favorite? What would you like to talk about? And it's like, I have a fucking like bachelor's degree in contemporary American comic literature. I used to be a professor, for fuck's sake. I have half a fucking PhD, but I have depending on who you're talking to, you can either be like, yeah, I have a PhD, but I had to quit because school's expensive. Or you have to be like, yeah, I've always wanted to, but I don't really know a lot about it. It depends on like who you're talking to. You have to cater to the different person. And like, it's a job. It's just a job.
I would pay to just hear, this is just the hop from like the character to like, I fucking hate your gutsy piece of shit. Like, that's just hilarious.
Here's the thing that I used to do is if the camera like cuts, like if the camera's like on my face and like my torso, for example, on a stream, if I was having a really bad night Like if I was camming and Chatterbait was like full of people that were trying me, I would occasionally be like, oh yeah. And then I would just focus the camera here and like I'd go above the camera and then my face would just. And then I'd pull back down and be like, did you like that?
Just the loathing is fucking hilarious.
If it's like a really bad day or somebody's being really shit in chat, I'd just be like, oh yeah. And then I'd like, they'd tip and I'd be like, as soon as the camera hits here and is not showing my face. You gotta do what you gotta do. That's a lucky thing you can do when you're camming. You cannot do that in a strip club. Somebody will see it and it will cost you money. You can't do that in person. That is an online privileged thing only. It's the ability to hide your face for a second and be like. Or sometimes people will say the most out-of-pocket shit and you can't react. You've got to have a poker face from hell in this scenario. And I don't have one anywhere else. But the moment I'm in like this mode of that kind of work, you will not see a reaction from me about anything that I don't want you to see.
I think that says a lot about guys, though. It's just like, what the fuck? What's wrong?
But what is there to say about that particular category of person that hasn't already been said?
I mean, true. Like, god damn. That's just that.
If we weren't in the first half of the show, I'd say that's the perfect segue into that guy portion of the show.
I swear to God.
We'll get there.
We will get there. Let's go ahead and ask our second standard question. And then I think we've been at this for an hour 46, so we can go ahead and head towards our break. You want to ask the second question, Anita?
Which one's the second question again?
50 plus episodes. 50 plus episodes. And I'm asking you because I forgot what the second question was. All right. That's why I was putting it on you. All right. You're supposed to be the one that has their shit together. I don't know where I am now.
I have had an hour and a half of sleep, my love.
Oh,
Nikki did make us a list, that's true. And Nikki
made us. Hey, Nikki, do you have our second question?
Nikki, would you like to ask me the question?
Nikki so came on the show once. It was more organized than we have ever been.
Yeah. Now my brain is.
If you could play with any five people that are alive, and you get to choose what game and who's the GM, what five people are you playing with, and what game, and who's the GM? I think that was.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
okay. Oh my god! Okay. I want to play I Spy. No, I like Deadass. I really love that game. I've played it. Like I've run it through in my head 80 billion times with a billion different scenarios. Because also the game comes with 6 quick starts for 2 one-shots, 2 mini-series length campaigns, 2 ongoing campaign like setups.
That's more work than any publisher is doing for their games, right? You are aware of that.
That's why the game is $25. Although actually the game is $15. But I made it 25 if you get the streaming kits, because they take a long time also to make. So, but it should be more. But like, if I make it more, nobody will buy it. Is the problem. But it's okay. We'll work our way up. But so I'd like to play I Spy partially because it's also like one of those games where like I try to design my games to be very easily adaptable to IP, partially for like monetary purposes of like connections and shit, but also just because like. I want people to be able to like, thank you, Sphinx. I want people to be able to play, like fulfill their fantasies when they're playing these games. Like that's why I made the Kids Next Door hack that should be coming out soon of I Spy. That comes with its own streaming kit. Because Lexi was like, where's my Kids Next Door? And I'm an idiot. So I was just like, oh, if only somebody made a spy. I made a spy game. I recently made a spy. Actually, I think this would work really well. So I rewrote and redesigned the entire game book to fit Kids Next Door. I'm currently finishing out the details of it, of like adapting it to the universe. And then I made a streaming kit for it as well. So hopefully I'll be running that. But I just want people to be able to be like, I love Charlie's Angels so much. I want to play it. I want to play Charlie's Angels full throttle inspired, like one shot. You can do that with I Spy. You can play James Bond. You can play Kids Next Door. You can play Harriet the fucking Spy. I don't care. It's all adaptable. It doesn't matter. I'm making an Artemis Fowl hack. So yes.
Have you tried to actually reach out to see about getting the licenses for?
I want to. I actually asked about that on Twitter last night or this morning. Because I obviously cannot release it as a Kids Next Door hack. I will get hit in the face with the biggest cease and desist letter known to man. But which like I would frame. But I would really, really like to, because licensing and creating IP, like licensing IP and creating like TTRPG from IP is my biggest strength and the thing I love to do the most. So I would love to do that.
I've got a few emails that I'm gonna send out because I think I might be able to help.
I see the wheels turning, the gears.
We'll talk.
Okay, exciting. But yeah, I would love to play I Spy with people. Now here's my table. Number 1 on the table, because I think she's probably a brilliant strategist, and nobody's allowed to judge me. I was born in the mid-90s. Paris Hilton. That bitch is funny. That bitch is smart. I think she would, I think I'd like to see her play pretend. I'd like to see what she did. I'd like to see it. Then I would like to play, specifically because we're playing I Spy, Drew Barrymore, Lucy Liu, Cameron Diaz. Them. Those guys. Already. We've got one person left and me.
Okay.
I will GM this happily because I like seeing people play pretend. And then it's my last person. Oh my god. I think the last person, and this is because of I Spy specifically, that I would like the Charlie's Angels to be part of it. It's a good one. Although if we take off, I'm so sorry, Drew Barrymore and Cameron Diaz. I'm so sorry. We're gonna just go to my favorite angel, Lucy Liu. So if we've got Paris Hilton and Lucy Liu.
You don't want any of the new angels?
I haven't seen the new movie.
Oh, okay.
I can't go to the movie theater that much. Also, I have no immune system, so I wasn't able to go when it came out. And then I don't know where you can stream it. I think it was on. Was it on HBO? I don't even know, but I didn't have HBO at the time. I still don't, but I have my friend's HBO. Actually, ironically, I have my friend's ex-husband's HBO, and I didn't realize that after the divorce, my friend got her own, so I've been using his HBO still.
Good. Welcome.
And he didn't know. I think he thought that like they were using it. They didn't know that I was still using that one and that they hadn't given me theirs. And I was just sitting here watching absolute random batshit stuff on this man who doesn't know me's HBO. So sorry, I guess, my dude. But let's see. We've got Lucy Liu in I Spy. We've got Paris Hilton. I would really love. There's a comedian. I don't know if you guys will know her. Probably not. She's Persian and German. Her name is Anita Amani. She is so funny and so creative and so energetic. I think she would crush it. So Anita Amani.
Okay.
She's on Netflix too. She has a special. It's got subtitles. The subtitles are bad. She makes jokes about that also. Because like in German, you can say Alter, so that means dude. But she like has the same kind of dialect I do, so she's Alter. They thought she was saying Allah. So the subtitles say Allah instead of dude. Every time she says dude, which as from my dialect is every 2 seconds.
Oh my god.
It's the funniest shit. She noticed that in her first special, so she made a joke about it. They did that in the second one also. She got a bigger following in the United States a little bit through, she did the Comedians of the World. She had an episode where she was one of the German comedians.
Okay.
So Anissa, we've got Lucy Liu, we've got Paris Hilton. Ooh. I'd like to play with Abria. I just really like to play with Abria. And I feel like, you know what? I don't want to jam I don't need to jam for Abria. I'm okay. I can jam this for Abria if she wants to. But I also like it when people who jam a lot get to have fun.
Yeah.
So like depending on like, you know what? Fine. I will run this. I will do the risk of running this game. At least it's my own game. So I don't have to do that thing where when I ran Alien, people were like, what are the stats for this weapon? I was like, I don't know. Roll me 48s and I'll tell you based on my vibe if it worked. We'll have fun. I guarantee it. Is this going to be the exact rule book? Probably not. I'm very rule of fun, GM. I will jam this for Abria, so Abria gets to play. This is the weirdest table. But it would be fun. And then
it would be wild.
It would. And then let's see. You know, like somebody asks you your favorite color, and you're just like, I've never seen a color.
Yeah,
actually,
just blank on it.
Just blank.
So we have Lucy Liu, Paris Hilton. Oh, I forgot the comedian's name because I'm the worst with names. Anissa, Abria. And we've got one more.
We do have one more. Ooh,
it's already a very solid table.
It is a very solid table.
Very solid.
Let me check real quick. Who do I follow on things? You know, sometimes you just like, I don't even know who
I don't know people. I don't know.
I don't know a single person on the planet. Ooh, snitchery.
Snitchery.
Eleanor. She's an influencer and a model. She's a Savage X Fenty ambassador. She's a cosplayer. Eleanor. She has such a everything about her is so fun and so interesting. And I feel like she would really kill it at that table. So snitchery. So Eleanor.
This is a spicy table, and I am here for it.
I love it.
It's just a bunch of real creative, very smart people that I would love to run this game for them anytime. Paris, hit me up anytime. I'm not a big celebrity person, is also like why I was struggling, is I'm not a big like celebrity culture person, because I'm much more on the side of eat the rich. But I very much appreciate Paris Hilton's, like, she was just, when I was younger, I just wanted to be her so badly. And I knew that she wasn't stupid. So it was wild to me how many people genuinely thought that who she played on like The Simple Life was who she really was. And I was just like, so she's right. You are stupid.
So
damn.
I kind of, Paris Hilton kind of earned my respect by doing 2 movies. She did House of Wax, which was pretty, where she basically made fun of herself and they got killed. And then Repo the Genetic Opera, which is one of my favorite movies, favorite musicals. And I rock with that.
She has a great sense of humor. And it's very, very much like a lot of overlap with mine, because I also will say things that I know people think I mean, and people think I'm being obnoxious and annoying, but I know that I'm joking. And it's always harmless shit. Like when she says like sliving, she knows what that sounds like. She knows that it's like slay living. She knows. She's aware. She's in on the joke. She made the joke. But they might be like, look how she says stupid. She says sliving. You're an idiot. You're an idiot if you don't think she's fucking aware of how it looks.
I think this. I have a theory. Well, it's not really a theory. It's just something I've been noticing more and more, which is like our society in a whole, like as a whole, just really loves to beat up and hate on feminine things,
and AFAB people in general,
and feminine presenting individuals. Like that's why like Twilight got shit on. You know, and not for the reason that the author is racist, but like just because it's something that girls liked, you know. Yeah. So
I was a big Twilight fan when I was little, and I didn't know what a healthy relationship looked like, and I didn't know what good writing looked like. And like a valid critique is the writing is bad, and it is racist, and the creator is racist as hell, and it is unhealthy as fuck, and it's not good. But the movie was fun. The like kids liked it because kids are teenagers. They're gonna like what they like, and like people had their little crushes. I used to wear this is so embarrassing. I used to wear the Alice choker, like the one that you could buy, like the replica from the movie. I wore that to school all the time until it broke, I think. So yeah, I very much. People also like genuinely, and I say people, I mean typically cishet men. Or even just cis men, don't think quote AFAB people or femme presenting people can joke. Like I once dated somebody who was horrible. He, for the first 6 months of dating me, once he said, I wish you had more of a sense of humor. And I went, what? And he was like, well, you never joke. I was like, have you taken everything I've said in the last 6 months at face value and seriously? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh my God. That's horrible. Oh my God. What? Yeah, they don't think that you can joke. I've had a lot of people, and like, I do a lot of variety streaming. And when I started out variety streaming, before I did Twitch, I was streamed on a private platform and I was paid to be a variety streamer, is I did like comedy because like I'm funny. And people would listen to the joke or the story that was the joke. And then they would explain to me why that's actually really funny. And I would sit there like I wasn't in the middle of a routine and be like, oh, really? Thank you. Oh my God. That is so funny. That is so funny. I should tell that as a joke.
I had an ex that didn't think I was funny because only he was allowed to be funny.
Burned at the stake. We should bring that back. Some people. You know what? I think we should really encourage the cishet phenomenon, like cishet male phenomenon of being obsessed with like going to Mars. You should absolutely go to Mars. I really support that. I think we should put money into a program to put all of these bitches on Mars and just not give them return tickets.
Men are from Mars? Well, they are now.
They are, and they should have stayed there. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild how many times I will tell a funny story because it's funny. Like I've had people, and I made a very small version of this. I made it as a TikTok because it was like a trend where people would like lead into a story and then that like little like text thing would start circling of like the punchline. And I made a small version of that where like I was walking home from the gym when I was in Germany, and the gym was like 20 minutes away from my house walk. So it was a perfect, like nice little walk to warm up and cool down before I worked out. And so I was going to the gym. I had my headphones in. I didn't have glasses at the time, which is very important for the story. And I was like looking down because I didn't want to trip, because Germany has what we call misogynistic streets, which is to say cobblestones. So your high heels will get stuck in them, etc. It's very easy to trip and get stuck. Germans call them that all the time. They're just like, the streets are really misogynistic. And Germans have an excellent sense of humor. It's just that it's very dry and sarcastic, and people like Americans typically don't think we're joking. So they think we're really mean, but we're literally always joking. A lot of Germans are also racist, so that's not funny. But like the ones underneath the other jokes, those are funny. But like I was walking on like the side of like where the street was, and there was like the inner side, and I saw out of the corner of my eye that this girl was coming up pushing a little bike basket, and she had a little white, like, you know, those tiny little fluffy dogs that like every influencer has. I shit you not. When I was literally an influencer as a job, I was an influencer and a model. And I was in a business meeting with our agent and 5 other models. And the agent brought up his dog that he'd just gotten. That was one of those little white ones. And every single camera suddenly had the same dog with like that texture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That dog. It was insane. It was, I was like, am I on the Truman Show? What is happening? You all have the same dog? Amazing. So that dog, I was like, oh, she's like a little one. It's like napping in her bike basket. So as she was passing, like a Maltese, like those tiny little ones that look like this blanket. Mm-hmm. And as she came up like towards me, I like looked up. And the thing is, when I do like cute smile, when I smile, I close my eyes. So I was like, hi there. And like, I don't usually say hi to people, but I will say hi to their, actually I never say hi to people. I exclusively talk to their animals. So I was just going to smile at her as I like looked up and opened my eyes, and I just caught her eyes, and she was terrified. And I was like, that's not the appropriate response to any of the shit that I just did. And we were about to like pass each other, and she's speeding up, and I just go, and I look at the basket. It was her jacket. It was the era. It was like 2017. Everybody had these crop jackets, like this crop sweater, but like with the, like material. And she had just crumpled it up and thrown it in the bike basket. And I had thought it was a dog because I can't see very well. And she half ran away from me because I thought I saw a cute dog and said hi. She thought some psycho immigrant had stopped on the street and said hi to her crotch or her bike. So she was terrified. I couldn't correct her. So this is probably a story she tells her friends. And at a time, she was like this crazy Turkish bitch that she saw on the street said hi to my fucking crotch. It was the weirdest fucking thing. And I had to go home and be like, oh my God.
I have a similar story.
To say hi to people's crotches?
I have a similar story where I smiled and I'm like, I said hi to a dog, and the guy that was walking the dog said, "Sure, you say hi to the dog, but not me."
I'm so grateful nobody's ever called me out on that before.
I was like, I died. Like, have a nice day.
Honestly, oh God.
Part of me just wanted to say, well, the dog's cuter than you, and just kept walking.
That's probably what I would have done. I that has the very like, where's my hug energy, where like somebody did that to me in college once where I was hugging my friends goodbye, and the dude was like, where's my hug? And I was like, I don't know, go look for it, and I left.
There's still so many dudes who still do that, which is creepy as shit.
They managed to do that in digital spaces too, in case you were wondering.
Really?
Oh yeah. There was a time in this space where for several months, and I've only had months in this space, where I couldn't take a single business meeting without somebody talking about, like, unnecessarily bringing up that I give them gay panic, which I'm almost 30. That doesn't just mean, oh, you made me feel like really gay. To me, that means what it originally meant. So initially I was like, what? Okay. Oh, right. New meaning.
Wait, what's gay panic mean?
Gay panic used to be, and still is in many states, the defense of killing a gay person because you panicked and thought they were going to kill you.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yeah, that's what that means, actually. But now it means when somebody flusters you because you're gay for them, which is also not an appropriate thing to say in a work meeting. But yeah, I've definitely been in a, like, I couldn't take a meeting without somebody commenting on how attractive I was, which is irrelevant, or how like how much I gave them gay panic, or how much like my presence like flustered them or whatever. And I was just like, this is really unprofessional. But it also had very much the energy where like they would keep calling back to it, where it was just like, I know you want me to respond and I think you want me to flirt with you, but A, ew, and B, I'm in a work meeting. And it still has that same energy of like where's my hug, like coming, like they just kept bringing it up like in a way that was like, oh, joking. So like if I complained about it, I looked like a conceited asshole. But like, I mean, not that I mind, I'll look like a conceited asshole if it means protecting.
Well, what do they want out of that? Like, what do they like?
To know that I would want them. They don't even actually, because here's the thing, most of them don't have the balls to actually date somebody that they admire that much. But like they want to know that they could.
It's because they like the idea of the person better than the actual person.
Because they don't know me. Yeah. So they like the idea, they like the attention that I get, and they think that if they get that from me, it's the same as if they were getting that attention. The validation, yeah, Nikki, 100%. People do that to me in real life too, all the time. That's why I very rarely ever date. I'm dating now, but like, because this is like one specific person that I'm dating, but that's it. But like, I don't fuck with that shit. People it's very transparent too. Like nobody has ever done that and it's not noticed ever. In the history of people, you will always notice that that is why they're doing that, because it's really obvious. But that energy, like that's very big here as well. Yeah, they want, exactly. They want someone to want them. They want to feel like this person, shut up, Glaza. They want to know that secondhand attention. Yeah, I know. I was like, you knew this. But yeah, it's people are wild and insecure, and they will make it everybody's problem. Because like you can be insecure and not deal with it unhealthily. I think people think that if you don't deal with it unhealthily by making it everyone's problem, that like people that don't do that aren't insecure. That's not true. It's just that like when I get insecure, I have the tools to deal with that on my own and communicate in a way that doesn't make it someone else's problem with my close, like my 3 best friends. And like, I can talk to them and I can shut up and I can, that's because you're one of my best friends. I get to do this. Which I should have said in case anybody didn't know. Liza is the reason I'm in TTRPGs.
This might be the first episode where the guest fights the chat more than me.
It's true.
And I think I like
I'm on fighting chat. Hi chat. Hello chat. I appreciate you being here.
No,
I'm fighting Glazer.
Fight him.
They deserve it.
They know what they did.
They do.
All them episodes y'all were popping off at the mouth at me. I brought in the ringer.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that happens a lot where like, and I'll just, when I feel insecure, I'll sit and I'll deal with it myself first. And then I will talk in a not self-deprecating way. I don't know why you're telling Noir. Noir's not going to stick up for you.
That's right.
We're on the same side here.
I usually have to fight Glyza alone. I'm so happy.
Normally it's me and Glyza teaming up on Noir.
Beautiful. It's an even team now. But I don't want to fight you. You're so cool. But
I'll fight Anita. You handle Glyza.
Let's go.
Back to back like Lethal Weapon.
But yeah, it's a matter of like having coping mechanisms that are healthy and then like being able to communicate in a not self-deprecating way, because that can put the onus on the other person to handle your problem. But like there are ways to like communicate that you feel insecure about something in a healthy, private way with your trusted people. And like I've even been on stream and had like I was on stream when I was getting attacked by TERFs, and I was live as it like started up again. And so the chat had to see a very vulnerable moment where I was just like visibly very stressed out and like trying to not get upset. And there are ways to be vulnerable where it is not unhealthy. And there are ways to be insecure where like you're human. Of course you feel insecure. Of course you're going to have moments. Like it's not like I walk around 24/7 to the bone being like, I am the hottest shit that has ever been shot. Like that's not like that. I will have bad days. I will have days where like for once I am not at 110, and like I have my people that I can go to and I can just like be quiet, and they can like I can like just recharge, or I can discuss it with them in a healthy way. Mm-hmm. But like a lot of people will just be like, well, it's normal for me to have insecurities. And it's like, yeah, it is normal for you to have insecurities. It is not normal for you to make them everybody else's problem.
It's not normal for you to project those insecurities onto other people.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna call myself out here, because you touched on something that I do as a defense mechanism, which self-depreciation is just like my go-to. Like and I mean I know where it comes from. I've done enough therapy to where it's just like I'm gonna stab myself before you can. Yeah. Like, and I never really considered how doing that is putting the onus on other people to deal with it. Because like, I've got my jokes, like, I often be like, I look like a Dugga wolf, and then, because like it's comedic, it's funny, but it's also me getting out some of that self-esteem issue. But you're right. I never really kind of considered the consequences of that, which is that I'm making it that other people's problems, which is something that I try not to do. So
it's not something that you should be punished for, but it is like you can be aware of it and be like, oh, I can keep an eye on this. I can work with this. Nobody deserves to be punished, for reacting as a human being, like that. It's very innocent, but like. Yeah, it's very common. One thing that I used to do is I couldn't accept compliments. They made me very anxious. And so every time somebody would compliment me, I would just sort of be like, no. And then I saw an interview. I don't remember who it was. I think it was a drag queen. But I don't remember who, because this was a really long time ago. Like this was before even this was like maybe first year of college. So like, a billion years ago, where like I saw somebody say it's actually really disrespectful to the person paying you a genuine compliment, because like obviously there are compliments where it's just like ugh. But like if someone is giving you a genuine compliment of like, you did a really great job, or you look really nice today, and you go, oh no, you're saying you think their opinion is worthless and untrue. You're basically telling them you're lying or you're wrong, and I disagree vehemently, which is like, oh I was like, I hate being disrespectful. Oh no. And like, I realized like, oh, like a lot of times, like if I never accept a compliment, or like if I constantly like put down me to my friends who love me, and they say, you are amazing, I love you, you are creative, you are wonderful, you are lovely, you are kind, and I say, oh no, I suck, I'm like shitting on something that they love, which if it were any other thing, I wouldn't do. And that helped a lot to be able to like, because now when people compliment me, I just go, oh my God, thank you. That's really nice of you.
Look at Anita's smug fucking face right now.
Every single time Noir tries to like downplay themselves, I'm like, are you calling me a liar? Are you saying that I don't have taste?
Look at Anita's stupid smug
Whenever
face.
he's like, oh, I look like a booger wolf, I'm like, are you saying that I'm attracted to
It's a
booger wolves?
Duggle Wolf.
Are you saying?
Stop.
Are you saying that this is? Are you saying that I don't have taste? Are you saying that this is what I'm attracted to?
I'm just saying
What does that say about me?
respectfully, I look like a Mr. Potato Head that fell in the forest preserve. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like saying no offense and then saying something offensive. You can say respectfully and then just doesn't make it respectful.
You're supposed to be on my side.
I am a free agent. I am a free
They go where they are
agent.
needed.
And look at Glyza immediately hopping in. Are you insulting her? This
Yeah.
is bullshit. I didn't
Yeah.
sign up for this.
What are you trying to say about your co-partners?
So now's a wonderful time. Now's a wonderful time for us to go to break.
See, and then we move on to deflection.
You, how fuck you, God, motherfucker.
But that is.
I
a good
was
time.
warned that Noir might start swearing, but I didn't know this would be what made that happen.
Yeah, it usually does. But that actually is a good time for us to take our break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes or so. We will see you soon. Hello. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome into the second half of Morning Ritual, which we affectionately titled The Dark Roast. I mean, we've already been talking about fairly serious topics, so the point of talking about it is kind of like after the break is kind of moot at this juncture, but we still like to call the second half The Dark Roast. But yeah, all these compliments in chat for Noir are very nice. They would not hear any of them.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, you just really gonna put me out there, huh?
Yeah. We tried to read them to him while we were on break, but they literally turned off their headphones.
I don't need compliments.
I
It's
did
all
read
good.
it out loud. I was like, I will do my whole voice that people pay me money for, and I will go full audiobook.
You got
and
that
be
for
like,
free.
Yes. Be like, Noir does give good hugs. Straight up.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. I appreciate the compliments. Yeah.
Yes, Sphinx. Yes, Sphinx.
Let us speak. I mean, I'll copy all of them and send them to you. No, it's all good. We don't need that.
But it's
We're
very
good.
sweet. You guys have very sweet chat.
I mean, don't let her fool you.
I say that because a lot of your chat is also my chat as well. And I'm like, yes, my chat, best chat, love chat. Every time I want something, I'm like, this chat is amazing. And they are.
Beans. They are good beans when they don't feel like being petty and spiteful towards us.
See, you say us, but they really just come after me. They're nice to you. He says as they just gave him a compliment.
A compliment barrage. Never me. Thank you, Glaza. Thank you, Madam
So,
Moore.
we are on the second half, and there are questions that we asked during the second half. Usually we ask them around the end, but I'm just going to jump right into the sauce right now, which is, Brandy,
Yes.
you are God Emperor of the TTRPG community for one day. Your whim must be obeyed. For example, if you said a company goes defunct with the snap of your finger, it happens, and their wealth goes wherever you choose. You have one day. What do you do as God Emperor of the TTRPG community?
I'm going to Thanos snap all the racists out of the community.
Bye.
That is.
Bye, bitches. All the bigots, really.
You know what would be funny though is like all the secret races.
Well, yeah,
we don't know
because
about.
I don't have to know, because Thanos didn't know half a billion. I don't know how many people. Thanos didn't know all of those people. He just went, this is the rule. Bigots, be gone. And you just see bitches disappear.
Be gone, bigots.
They're just gonna dust, just straight up. I don't feel so good. Bye.
Oh, you know how fucking sick that would be? Like, I'm sorry,
You are all perma-blocked from engaging with this shit. Yes, watch half of the code disappear. I'm so sorry. I have like this weird cough that comes out when I say shit that I can't say because I would like to get paid. What I would like to do is, if I'm God, then I can make shit out of nothing.
Yes.
Which means, all my people are getting so much money because there's so many actual plays I would like to fund. Because the thing is, I also really, really love creative producing. It's like one of my biggest like passions, my loves. I mean, obviously it's what I do most of the time. It's all of my network and everything. I would really, 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 really love, and this is an actual goal for the podcast network to then cross over multimedia network, just because I see a lot of great things I would like to help produce. Like sometimes you see like, this is a great group of people. That is a great game. They have a great idea. I would love to push you guys together and give you money and then help. And like help you, make you connections, help you organize it, whatever needs to be done so that they can't, like, so that they currently can't do on their own. So whatever I can do to just be like, I'm gonna put this together and you're gonna make this amazing thing because I know it's gonna be amazing. You just need the money to do it. I would like money, and also money. But yeah, if I were, there's so many APs that I would fund, so many like POC specifically like centered talk shows, so many things that like I would just be like, money. I'm gonna throw all of Wizards of the Coast will suddenly be overcome with the need to sponsor anti-colonialist. You know what Wizards of the Coast would do if I were God is sponsor Transplanter RPG entirely. Forever in perpetuum. To sponsor, because like I don't do this them and sponsor anything Lexi says, even half asleep. If Lexi has a dream about D&D and accidentally mutters a few words of nonsense of a campaign, I would like that to be funded immediately. So yeah, I think them, and then Aki with Pathfinder, who I forget the company for Pathfinder. Paizo. I would like Paizo and Wizards of the Coast to be struck entirely by the overwhelming need to fund Transplanter RPG, Aki, that's Aki no Mi Art, and Lexi, because I think the things that those three specifically are doing with those systems, those are some of the only people I even play those systems with, really, because like they're doing the thing. They're making it anti-colonialist. They've made the environments they're in anti-racist. They make them inclusive, and they make them like safe and fun and creative. And then on top of it being this beautiful setting and world building that they're doing. I mean, Connie's world building is, for lack of better description, out of this world. Every time I speak to Connie, I'm like, wow, I am talking to the god of TTRPGs. But like also like Connie's just, I mean, a brilliant person, and like the work that like he has put into Transplanter RPG is, I mean, everybody at Transplanter I love very, very much. Hi Transplanter, I love you. When I say when, like we haven't already filmed something. We've already done a whole show together. It's just not out yet, but so actually really Transplanter soon. Which I'm very excited about, because I just love everybody there. There's not a single person in Transplanter I think that I don't love, and I would drop anything and be like, yeah, absolutely, I will do something with you. Just tell me what it is. I don't care. I just think that I would love to see them just be like, oh, you just want to get $500,000? So yeah, absolutely. I would like all of the budget for marketing in actual plays, etc., from their respective game system companies to go straight to those three immediately. Yeah. Because the things that Aki could do with a budget, because I was on a show that Aki created that was on the Dragons and Things network, which was very, very fun. And I really liked working there. It was really, really great because Aki just created a wonderful cast and like a wonderful story. And I got to be a gay pirate Nothing cooler than that.
That's
And that
always
was
the
before
best.
we even got our Flag Means Death. So it was fantastic. I got to be gay. I got to play tragedy, but I still had a happy ending. Like it was wonderful. I got to bring my own culture, like my own indigenous culture, to the character and live in this world of Shambhala. So it was the Shambhala Tides of Change campaign in this world that Aki created. And it was an anti-colonialist, like anti-imperialist setting, and it was really, really beautiful. And that was just what Aki was able to do with a mini series and a paperclip, and like the support of the Dragons and Things Network. So what I would love to see is Aki to be able to get funded to create all of the storylines that she has in her head, all of the things in this universe, to get funded to maybe even have an expansion that you can buy of Shambhala Tides of Change, like this giant thing with maps and funding, etc. And it's also the first Pathfinder game I'd ever played, and I just loved it. I loved it. I had so much fun in the system, which like I was very scared about, because people are just like, yeah, Pathfinder is basically like D&D, and I'm just like, oh no. That sounds crunchy and scary, but I say as if I don't also design some crunchy games, but like it's a lot of work, it's a lot of effort, and like I was just like a little scared, but like Aki did a great intro to it, sat on Discord with me while I like made my character sheet for the first time and like fucked it up 8 times. Like 10 out of 10. I would really, really love for those companies to just give those 3 absolute boss ass people all the money to create all of the things, because I feel like they're doing great things with those systems.
Just give them a black card with no budget.
Yeah.
Just no limit. Just go.
And honestly, I love Pathfinder so much. I really do. I want to be in more Pathfinder stuff.
I would really like to work with more Pathfinder stuff, because I genuinely had so much fun. And I know that most of the reason that I had like that much fun is because of Aki, because of the amazing team that like they had working with us, and because of the amazing cast. But I also really thought that the system was really fun, and it felt a lot more flexible than like D&D. Although I don't like to compare systems too much, because like there's 2 different games. But if I'm comparing the experience of playing them, I do have more fun playing Pathfinder than I have playing D&D. But I know a good GM can really like make a system work. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like as a god of TTRPGs, I would like those 2 major companies to give all of their money to those 3 and people that are doing like similar things, because that would just be fantastic. Yeah. And also I would like to snap my fingers and have a nice, full, happy bank account and pantry.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I feel all of it. It like, I wish there was like more money going out, because there's money in the space, but it's it's not where people think it is. It's not in the actual place.
I will never get over the pride and shock that like I was very lucky and I got my first game, Verhext Nochmal, which really I should have just named Curses, because when I explained the title to somebody, and like it's because like Verdammt Nochmal is how you say damn it, but like to verhexen somebody is like to cast a spell like a curse or a hex on them, and somebody said, you mean curses? I was really upset. I was like, man, I sat with that for 2 hours. Fuck.
It's always a pain.
It's late now.
When someone like accidentally refines your idea.
Yeah, and you're just like, well, I can't rebrand it now. It's already out there. But somebody found Verhext Nochmal and did a review of it on their TikTok, and it blew up. Like I've never had a response to a game that I've made. And 1 month only, but 1 month, I paid rent from those game sales because of how many people saw the game and the fact that the game was $5.
Wow.
It was amazing. It only lasted a month because, trends, but like, I don't care. It's amazing that happened once. But the fact that happened once makes me know it could happen every month.
Yeah.
If the games just got to the right people. It's just hard to get them to the right people, especially when you are starting from yourself from the bottom.
It's kind of this thing that like the people that are out here making all the money We're not, the people that are out here making a lot of money in this space aren't necessarily better than people that aren't. It's a matter of having a platform, or having an audience, or having the connections necessary to blast your stuff. Like, people really don't understand the juggernauts that they're going against in the gaming community. Like, Critical Role started, from what I understand, with with an episode budget of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Like, you're never going to be the next Critical Role.
No, not unless you're already Brad Pitt.
Episode budget, 6 months of front page on Twitch, and a couple other things in their favor.
I was front page on Twitch once for Roll20 when I did Haunted West for Roll20. I've never seen numbers like that on a stream that I was on. The first one, I mean, the VOD for the session 0, the VOD for the session 0, 500,000 views in a day. I don't like, numbers do not have an effect on me anymore because, like I've said, I've been in the industry, the entertainment industry and like working and honing everything for over a decade. But it wasn't, I couldn't even react to it because my brain could not wrap around that number in a singular piece of work. Because what I can say and what has no effect on me is like, yeah, over 100,000 people have seen me naked, for sure. Doesn't bother me. Don't care. Part of my, like, was my job. But like, to think that 500,000 people saw me with this amazing cast playing this awesome game, and like just in the session 0 and like talking safety tools and creating our characters. And that means that 500,000 people are walking around the planet who know this game and maybe would like continue to play it, or maybe it'll eventually in their life, like somebody will mention it, they'll be like, oh, like a few months ago I saw this like session 0 for this game, it sounds like something you would like that effect, that ripple effect that one thing can have just off the fact that they saw it briefly blows my mind. And that's just like the VOD. That's not even like the several like double-digit 1,000 people that we're watching at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the reach. It's the reach, and it's really hard to get the reach.
And there are brands and companies that have access to that. And then there are people that run those brands and companies. And then there are people that are friends with the people that run those brands and companies. And that's what you're competing against as yourself.
Yeah, as like somebody with an iPhone 6 on your couch with no other furniture in the apartment talking into your microphone like this.
Yeah. So like this is not easy. It's essentially what we're trying to say here.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I mean, even this, like people saying that like I've come out of nowhere, and like for TTRPGs specifically, yeah, absolutely. But as far as like from my perspective, I've been busting my ass as an entertainer since I was like 16 years old. Professionally.
Yeah.
And so, and like that's 11 years of honing my stage presence, honing my actual crafts, figuring out new areas. How do I apply what I've done here to there? How do I apply being a singer to being on stage as an actor? How do I apply this acting to that acting, producing, etc.?
It's like that duck metaphor, where you glide across the water. It looks so easy, but the feet are just fucking panicking.
I am absolutely under the surface, constantly going 10,000 miles an hour. Always. always. Although the surface is like very clean water, so you can still see it.
You can still see the work.
You see the paddling. You see the like slight eyebrow twitch of like the strain. You see it. Not as good at keeping it super smooth, but yeah, it's very much that. It is really hard to break out in, but I love it so much. I wouldn't want to work on different things that I'm doing now. I love what I do now. I would just like to have food and get paid.
Yeah.
And I should get paid. I am fucking good at what I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time to like get to a point of being able to say that, but it's also like if you won't say that, then they're not going to hire you. You have to at least pretend a lot of the time that you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna present this great thing and I can be insecure behind the camera.
And I mean, the other thing is like, if somebody says that they're only taking paid gigs, respect that, and more than that, support it. If like, hey, I want you to be in this game, and I can't pay. Well, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say no. You know what? I'm challenging everybody that's listening to not just go, oh, okay, but to go, hey, if I hear anybody is running a paid game, I'm going to let you know. I'm going to let them know that you're interested, and I'm going to support in the best way that I can. People aren't making the decision to only play paid games because they're comfortable. Yeah. That is a sign that I literally cannot spare any time, because if I do, there is a cost to me that is so detrimental that I have to say no. I've said no to plenty of games that I would have loved to play it because they didn't pay. Like, it's nothing personal, but at the time, I couldn't afford to give my time away for free. Time that now I know the value of it.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Very much. And like, if you can't connect someone, can you please at least like straight up just be like, but every time somebody sets a boundary with me, I'm so hyped for it. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Every time somebody says, no, I can't do this for you, I'm like, because like, I'm busy. I'm like, I'm really happy that you're booked. I'm really, really happy for you. And I am genuinely like, and thank you for telling me. And I do that privately. Like every time a friend sets a boundary, I'm like, fuck yeah, absolutely have me time. Absolutely. If you just, you know what, maybe just like, take like the weekend, put your phone off. You don't have to be on demand. I support you. I'm here for you. I love you. That doesn't change when I don't see you. And like you and I, last night, Noir, we texted and we were talking about something and you said you can't do this like that, like we'd originally planned going forward because you're so booked. And I was like, so hyped for you. I was like, yes, thank you. Don't worry about it. I have so many, like I've got like a Rolodex of people. Don't fucking worry about me. I'm so hyped for you. I'm so excited. Like it is not hard to have that energy, like genuinely.
Yeah.
If you
be excited for other people's wins.
I feel like there's some people in this space that feel like friendship is enough payment for a game or a stream, but I can't eat friendship.
Yep.
Like,
oh yeah.
Well, like I said, but I for a very long time, I was at a point where I couldn't afford to do free games. And now I'm at a point where I can, but I've already set the standard that I'm only doing paid games. This is the really sticky part. Like, I'm trying to figure out a way to best explain this. I've set the standard that I'm only doing paid games. However, I'm doing maybe 1 or 2 games for free. If you are somebody that I was told no to because I'm only doing paid games and you find out that I'm doing 1 or 2 for free, that ain't none of your goddamn business.
No.
That ain't none of your goddamn business.
Entitlement. To come and be like, well, I saw you doing this game. I like them better than you. Is that what you wanted me to say?
They
asked me at a different time.
Where I gotta tell you that shit. don't put me in that position where I gotta tell you, like, listen.
I will too.
I like playing with them.
Also, like sometimes it's like, this has great potential. Like maybe like on the surface, you're just like, well, why are you playing that game and not this one? What you don't know is I know everybody on this development team. I don't know you and your friends. I know everybody on this team. I know the vision that they have for this. I know that they're sourcing eventually for sponsors. So even if they give me $10 in a paperclip, I will take that. And I believe in that project and it fits into my brand and it fits into my career.
Like I think, yeah.
And it makes me happy.
And that's some shit that like, it's true, and that's the case. Like, there are some projects that I believe in, and there are some projects that I'm like, but that's none of your business.
And sometimes it's not even that you're like, oh, like, I think this is useless. It's like, no, I believe in the future of this. That would be a fun one shot. But that's it.
Mhm.
Or that is a fun home game.
Or
But it's not a production.
that'll be a fun charity stream.
Exactly.
Or
Yep.
people who, like Nikki just mentioned, people who ask you to play but don't tell you who else is at the table.
Fair.
Oh, I don't join tables unless I like always ask like who is the GM and who's at the table. And inevitably what comes out 9 times out of 10 is that it's a white GM I don't know, who does not have anybody in common with me. So that's an immediate no. Or it's somebody who only has like the white mutuals that I have in common, which is an immediate no. Or it's an all white table, or it's an all cis table, or it's an all het table. I don't do those. It's not safe. It's not safe for me. I'm not going to put myself in that position ever again. Definitely not doing that. What I love is that now recently I've been invited to do a show and I said yes. And the person said, even though you've said yes, you're not obligated to. Let me tell you as they confirm who else is on the table so you can still say yes or no, depending on like how safe you feel. No judgment. And I won't tell them. And I won't tell them, and like, because the people that have confirmed, I won't tell them that I've talked to you until you've like seen everybody and said yes. Now, good thing was everybody on that table, I actually know, I have worked with, and I adore. So I was like, yes, absolutely, this is great. But I was like, what a great use of like private internal safety tools. I like talked to actually recently, like a conversation that I had was like, yeah, because from sex work, of course, there's also like BDSM, and there's safety tools in BDSM. There's the traffic light system. There's basically an X&O system. And there's safety tools beforehand. Like there's like lines and veils, aka hard lines, soft no's, soft yeses, hard yeses, enthusiastic yeses, which is the exact same as the safety tools that we use in TTRPGs. And I've always used those safety tools in my real life. So it's really, really nice to see more and more people in this space use safety tools always, in everything. Yeah. In the lightest of one shots, we will always discuss safety tools beforehand. Always. It's great.
I mean,
that's
nice,
actually very, very good, Nikki. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. What's going on? Post.
Part of my job when I produce shows for companies so far has also been chemistry testing, nice. Which I don't tell people that I'm doing, but it is basically vibe checking the group and the individuals to make sure that everybody is comfortable with each other and can play a nice, easy like game off of each other. And that is like part of what I do when I'm producing a show is I make sure everybody is safe and comfy and like vibes. Because like I've been at many a table where like it's like especially like charity streams where like you see, even if you see one, like you're just like, oh, this is not a group of people that would have come together if they hadn't just all happened to be free at this time for this charity event.
Yeah.
And you can tell when you're as a viewer, you can tell. And you don't want to see that. You want to see people with some sort of chemistry at least, or who can like play off of each other very well. And I feel like that's really, really important. But since it's not immediately a safety issue, a lot of people don't think about it. But it's really important. I mean, they do it in TV and in movies. Like you chemistry test with your screen partner before you get hired. Ideally, of course, I think somebody didn't do that between Zoe Kravitz and Robert Pattinson, but okay. Somebody dropped the ball on that one. I recently watched The Batman. It's 3 hours of my life I'm never getting back.
You didn't like it? I have questions.
I sent my best friend an 8-minute voice memo about Batman after watching it, as well as live texting her, even though she hates superhero stuff and she's never seen a superhero movie in her life. But she listened. And she was literally like, she saw it. She was like, "This is 8 minutes about Batman." And she was like, "Okay, to know you is to love you," which is a thing we say about ourselves and to each other all the time. But yeah,
what did you like?
I feel like a lot of people don't ask themselves the question, what am I achieving with this project? What am I saying with this movie? What is the statement that I have? And why did I make this? And the statement of the Batman is, I had the money to make a Batman movie. Robert Pattinson did a good job with what he was given, much like he did with Twilight.
Did you like Zoe Kravitz at all?
No. And that Party City wig she put in her, goddamn. They put on her, oh my God. The Party City wigs, I should say. No, Zoe Kravitz is a very, very pretty person. She's very pretty. She's very skinny. She's very pretty.
Oh my god, I love this. I did a tweet about the Batman earlier this morning because the most unrealistic thing about that movie to me is the fact that the Riddler has 500 followers on their equivalent of Twitch, and all of them show up to his live streams.
Yeah, all the time, and also they all show up to your meetup.
Only 12 showed up to the meetup, which I think was actually pretty accurate.
That is accurate.
But at the same time,
should have been the 12 that were online.
But at the same time, 500 followers, all of them show up to the live stream, and also, he's got 500 followers. That's a lot. Someone in the writing room should have caught that.
Also, every time there was a moment between, like, Selena, who I hesitate to call her that, because what did you do to my beloved? What did you do to my baby? What did you do? One of my favorite characters. What did you do? But they kissed, and I know I'm gay, but I'm not stupid. And I was like, why would you kiss right now? Do you even like each other? I don't understand. Like, I was literally sitting there like, I don't understand why that happened right now. I don't get it. I don't understand. Yes! Oh, God. Don't even who's your kid. Fucking about Catwoman leaving the fucking fridge open for ages. Bitch, are you trying to just, like, refrigerate the whole house? Turn on the AC. What are you doing? No,
Look how they're massacring my boy.
All of your bills are overdue. You're not helping your power situation.
Also, if your bills are overdue, you get disconnected. I got disconnected because my bill was 8 days late last year. I got my electricity turned off, and it cost almost $500 to turn it back on.
How do we end up just dunking on the Batman?
I'm sorry. I won't go into detail. And it's also the thing it had a lot of moments.
I want this. I want this punishment.
It had a lot of great moments where, like, you were like, oh, so you're an action writer. Okay. But also the dialogue was written in a way where I'm pretty sure the person who wrote it has never had a human conversation before in their life.
What did you think of the Penguin? Oh, no.
It's like they bought the rights and were like, yeah, we'll put in a bunch of people. And then you know who they hinted at for the sequel? Joker.
Why did they have to put Colin Farrell in a fat suit? They didn't need
that was Colin Farrell?
Yes!
Yeah.
Shut up!
That was Colin Farrell in a fat suit with prosthetics.
Colin, sweetie, Colin, baby. If you're hard up on cash, just call me. I know how to stretch $20 to last a month. I'll help you. You don't have to do this. There are options. We'll find some local theater gigs for you. You don't have to do this.
Brandy stare is becoming a thing.
At least I have a camera to stare into. Half the time shit happens to me in real life, I just stare into nothing. Like,
the Penguin is getting his own HBO spinoff. He's getting his own show.
Do we have to?
And they've officially announced we're getting a Batman 2.
I know, they hinted at it. It's gonna be probably with the Joker, since they fucking brought him in there as if there's no other fucking Batman villain.
Oh, they're also
when do we get Calendar Man?
They're also hinting at the fact that we might get Dr. Freeze.
I don't. Here's the thing. Nolan did dark and gritty Batman. But unfortunately, now that means a lot of people, because like it's movie, they think that is Batman. That's not Batman. That's not who the character is or was. That is an iteration of Batman. We don't need another dark and gritty Batman. And it was so gross. And they took some really talented actors and put them in shit that made no sense. They wrote them into situations where even if they gave 100%, it actually was worse. Because now it really doesn't match. The way they directed Robert Pattinson in the scene at the end confronting the Riddler, and the way they directed the amazing actor whose name I forget who played the Riddler.
Paul Dana.
Absolutely, sure, him. But that was two different directors. You can't tell me that those were actually together on set. The intensity of Paul's character, boom. The intensity of Robert Pattinson, boom. And it's not their fault. That's what they were told. I know what it's like. That's what they were told to do. What's with the dark and gritty shit? It doesn't make any sense. I have a degree in comic books, so if anybody mansplains this to me, I will shove it in your face and down your throat. That shit was, yes, a movie series of the webtoon Wayne Family Adventures. Bat Family. Cute, funny Bat Family. In the style of, I don't know, if we need to really pick a mainstream to model it off of, Shazam. That was camp. That was goofy. That was a fun superhero movie. I stand by Shazam. That shit was funny.
Shazam to me is still the best DC movie that's come out, second only to the first Wonder Woman.
The first Wonder Woman was really well made. I don't like Gal Gadot, but like I appreciated that because like I grew up in a DC household, so I was very excited. But yeah, but I love it, and I love the comics. Well, I grew up in a DC and indie comics household, so I love them so much. Most of my favorite comics are indie comics, but there's so much potential. But also, I will stand by what I have said, and this is controversial, I guess technically. I don't think there should be superhero movies. I think that there should be TV series because it's a serial fucking medium, and putting it in a movie makes no sense, and it doesn't translate 9 times out of 10. It's extremely difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible because I think Shazam was fantastic, but like it is extremely difficult to adapt a literal defined serial medium into a blockbuster movie. It doesn't. They're not compatible.
And I think
TV is way more compatible.
Yeah, and I think the only reason it worked with Marvel is because they literally set it up over the course of every single movie that preceded it.
Plus, the reason it worked is because they barely touched the source material. They made a superhero movie that was not based on comics. They made a superhero movie with characters that they paid to license from a comic. Which is also why a lot of people then get into comics through those movies and don't like the comics.
Yeah, and then they end up changing the comics to match the movies.
DC doesn't do that.
I mean, DC has a crisis every 3 seconds to refresh their shit because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I do love the current Superman and Superboy lineup for DC. I was very happy about that shit.
Well, okay, I have mixed feelings. We're talking about Superman now, who is my fave. So, like, here we go. I really dug Superman with, like, little baby Jonathan Kent. And then, like, Jonathan Kent was going off having, like, kid adventures with Damian Wayne. And then they aged him up. And now he's like Superman, which I don't have a problem with him being Superman. I just wish it would have happened more gradually. I would have loved to see the stories of Jonathan Kent and Damian Wayne both at the same time having to carry the mantle of their fathers. And like, I feel like
that would have been great.
We got screwed on that because they just wanted to age him up. And also fuck anybody that has a problem with Jonathan Kent being bi. Fuck everybody who has a problem with that.
Hey, fucking man. What I do think are still good are the DC animated movies. If you're going to make a superhero movie, it should be animated. There's actually, not everything has to have a live, and also not everyone is good, but like DC's Under the Red Hood stays one of my favorite comic adaptations and favorite movies.
Really, really good.
Beautiful.
I still feel like the greatest tragedy in the world is that we never got Jensen Ackles as a live action Jason.
When he was younger,
perfect. Yeah, when he was younger. They waited.
He really nailed that shit.
He killed it.
That's because he took you, because he took me away from you speech lives in my head. Also, I love Young Justice. I used to, because I grew up in not America, I used to watch Young Justice season 1, episode 1, part 1 of 18 on YouTube in order to watch it. I loved it very much. I loved I still love it. I haven't finished the new season because it finally came back. I was very excited about that. I know that there was a time skip and it was very confusing at first, the way that it was set up. And it took me a minute because also I haven't seen it since the show ended. so quite a long time. But I still have fun with it, and it still feels like Young Justice. I haven't seen the most recent like season, like the last season. I haven't seen that yet. I'm still in the like second to last season, but it was very important to me. Teen Titans, the actual Teen Titans, the animated show, not Go, and Young Justice were my core most important shows when I was growing up, next to Avatar: The Last Airbender. 10 out of 10.
Man,
I really love them.
I
want to be Zatanna Zatara at Comic-Con. When I was 14, I decided that I would do someday a 4-day Comic-Con thing where I was Zatanna Zatara, Batgirl, Supergirl, and I agreed to be Daria because I had the hair at the time. I had the bangs because my friend who I was going to go with wanted to be Jane Lane. So technically there's that one, but I've never watched Daria, so I don't really care about that one. But I really want to be. I really, really want to cosplay Zatanna Zatara. I think when I finally get to
kill it as Zatara.
Yeah.
I also would like to be in a comic thing. Like I'll do a comic book movie. But like here's the thing. When there was a new superhero that came out. God, which one? Fucking. They were gonna make a show about her too, but they didn't. And they fuck me. I know that my sister like texted me about it. I also really wanted to be Wonder Girl, like really badly. I wanted to be Wonder Girl so badly. Any iteration, really, except the blonde one. There's nothing wrong with her. It's just that like, you know.
Donna Troy. Oh my God, that was gonna drive me insane.
Yeah, but let me grab the name real quick because they were gonna do a CW show for this superhero.
Oh.
Man. Speaking of, like, fucking, they have just been canceling the shit out of those CW DC shows.
They have.
Because they were continually taking a loss on them.
Batwoman, gone. Legends of Tomorrow, gone. Like, who, like, I think Stargirl's, I'm not sure.
It's because the CW has been constantly taking a loss on their shows for years. Through like budgets for cast and whatever else, they've been taking a loss on their budget, and they've also been using it like almost as a. There's actually a very interesting article on it where they use it. It's like almost like a money laundering scheme.
Yeah. Oh, so it is. So it is an iteration of Wonder Girl, and I have to tell you, when this iteration of Wonder Girl came out, my sister texted me a picture of the design and said they used you as the blueprint, because you also have to consider my entire life I had blunt bangs, my whole life blunt bangs. So then they released Yara Flor. I'm gonna throw her up here.
Oh, I've seen her. Wow.
Her show got canceled before it like took off, before it even had like a real pilot. Which like sad, but also I'm in the industry now again.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I have been in love with the character of Wonder Woman and Wonder Girl since I was a very, very little kid. And Supergirl, but Supergirl was very white. So there was really felt like no chance there. But then this came out, and her design, I want to cosplay this so badly, but I can't sew, and I'm broke. But eventually I wanna do that shit because she is Latin American. I love her so much. I'm very excited about like just her character's existence in general. And I would have really, really loved if she'd gotten a show. I would have preferred if it was animated, but like if it's gonna be live action.
CW, cut the check.
Yeah, let's not do CW though. They scare me. I want to end up on Riverdale.
I actually have to at some point watch Riverdale because
No.
I'm trying to steal things from white people, and I know white people love.
No, you
Riverdale.
don't want this thing. Let them keep it. It's like white people can keep Glee. You can have it. You can take it.
Glee was so bad.
It was the only thing we had, and it was so bad. I used to have an because I never had an iPhone until I was like in college, but I had an iPod. And it was about this big. I actually have it somewhere over here. And I used to spend some of like the money I got working, like $1.29. I used to spend like $1.29 once a week on Apple TV, or it was just iTunes, I guess at the time, to download and rent the newest episode of Glee on my iPod and I would download it because it, of course, didn't have internet when I left the house. And I would download it and I would watch it on the 45-minute commute to school every week when it came out because I didn't have anything else. So I was just like, I was in the train just with the thing. And like in breaks between classes, I would like keep watching it. I have my headphones in. That iPod is over there somewhere. It just died. The battery lasts 5 minutes. But like it still has every Glee song that I ever bought.
Yeah,
all of them.
One of my favorite things on the internet is like anytime like there's a major Broadway role and Leah Michele doesn't get it, like Twitter just dunks on her.
Fair.
like they were casting for like the Wicked movie, and I think Leah Michele was like petitioning to get the role. And when they announced the cast and she wasn't in it, Twitter kept doing like Leah's face when she sees the report, and it was just a bunch of memes of people losing their shit. And oh my god, it was so good.
Every time she opens her mouth, I'm like, please don't. I don't need to know this about you. She recently had an interview where I was like, I didn't look this up. I didn't need to know this. I don't want to know this.
She was one of the many celebrities that got caught when it was trendy to give a shit about black people for a while there. She did the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and all of her black co-workers were like, oh, do they now? And they dragged her to filth. It was the greatest goddamn thing. Like, oh, man.
What I love about like Twitter is that like this amazing reactions that people of color get to have, especially Black Twitter. Very fucking funny. The funniest people on this planet. She, in the recent interview, the only thing that I know about it, apart from the fact that like she's offering Jonathan Groff, a gay man who is a lifelong friend, I guess, or like a very long-term friend who is also on Glee, to carry his child, like surrogate, which like interesting. And it's interesting information that you would share with the whole world when it's a very private thing. And it's not happening currently. So like I'd keep my mouth shut. But there's something somebody said about this like thing that I'm about to say. Not enough money in the world could have dragged this information out of me. And it was that she unsolicited explained that she had at some point shown Jonathan Groff her vagina because he was a gay cis man. And he had been curious about, I don't know, like women's reproductive systems or whatever. I don't know. But that she had shown him her vagina. And I was just like, not enough money in the world also could have dragged that information out of me. Ever.
Like, she Louis C.K'd him. Like, that's
I know,
not
the worst
cool.
thing is, I think they sat down and clinically looked at it. I was like, I don't even look at mine like that. What are you talking about? Oh my god, it's so much worse. He was allegedly playing a straight man, so he needed to see it. Ah! I was distressed. I was like, why would you say this about yourself? Why would you want people to know this about you?
I'm flummoxed. I can't.
I don't understand.
I'm trying to
volunteer
really
this information.
I'm really trying to inhabit this character, but I don't know.
I need to see a pussy. I'm so sorry. I just gotta see a pussy. Also, you can be a straight man with a trans woman who hasn't had bottom surgery. Doesn't make you less straight. Doesn't make you queer. Doesn't make you gay. You don't have to see a pussy. You were already equipped for the role. He's a white man. Of course he's equipped for the role. Oh, Nikki, please, I don't want to know any more about her. Straight women want to fuck gay men so badly, and it's very weird to put it
Is that a thing?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. It's a huge thing.
It's a
huge.
Thing.
They want to be the exception. They want to be the one to break them. They want to be the one to change them. It's a huge thing. It's the same principle as like men.
It is a very het thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same vibe of you haven't been with the right man. I could fuck you straight. It's very much the same dynamic as that. It's very violent. It's very gross. Yeah, absolutely. It's really weird, to put it nicely.
But somehow my genitals are magic and they will change your sexual orientation.
Yeah, people are. Yep, that doesn't shock me that she's like that, like at all. It doesn't surprise me.
Ugh.
That's very toxic masculinity of them. I'm
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
Oh yeah,
Ooh. Oh
It's a
no.
magic genitalia. Fuck no. Oh,
Oh no.
Liza.
Liza, no.
Oh,
Liza, don't put that evil on me, please.
No. Palate cleanse. I say palate cleanse. Do you want to do the next question? But I feel like the
Yes.
next question is. I
Well,
don't know what the next question is.
Well, you know, this we've
I
discovered.
will fight you.
We talked about we've just got done discussing
Batman.
that girl.
there we go.
I
Segue.
think now would be a good time to talk about that guy. So if you've been in the TTRPG community long enough, you probably had the misfortune of being at a table with a bad guy. A bad guy is somebody who is a black hole of fun at the table. Somebody, if they were yeeted into the sun, your experience at the table would increase 100-fold. So Brandy, I have to ask you, have you had the experience of playing with a that guy?
Am I alive? Am I breathing? Yes. I've been at tables where I was just like, they're all that guy. I haven't stayed there, but I have walked into things and been like,
Those guys.
Oh no.
Them dudes.
Oh, I do have one. I didn't end up going to like working with this person. But this person picked me up through the TTRPG space and was like, yeah, I'm developing like a show. And I want you, like, I'm looking for people to do the characters. And it was like, I think it wasn't even face. It was for my voice to develop for the show. Because they're like for podcasts and stuff, they do that. And like for stuff that has like its little avatars and stuff. And I took the audition because I was told it was a paid audition. I did not get paid. I went into this audition and I actually live texted it. Yes, it is. I live texted it to the Utopia chat, actually, like in the Discord while I was in it, because I was just like, I'm staying because it's paid, but I'm dying. So everybody got to witness that as well. And I told Liza about it because I was like, I gotta tell Liza specifically about this, which will make sense soon. But like, I went into this and it was a cishet white dude from Georgia whose name I would name him, but I genuinely don't remember it. I don't remember anything about this dude. I don't remember anything but his horrible haunting voice. And it started with he mentioned his ex-girlfriend a few times, which is a red flag to me when people are meeting me and then bring up their ex, and I'm just like, oh,
unprompted too. Yeah.
This is a professional thing. Okay, I don't care. And it was because he had one of the reasons that he wanted to have the meeting with me is because I grew up in Germany. And I'm half German and I speak German fluently, and several of my degrees are in German, specifically German linguistics. So I am native in German and I know the culture, etc. So apparently his ex-girlfriend was German. Not like I'm German though. She was like a white German person who like was also like American. It's just that her great grandparents were German or something. So you know how like Americans claim that they're God knows what, because a billion years ago they were kind of something. Yeah. Basically like he kept bringing that up and I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna gloss over it. And then, you know, he could see me and he had looked at my pictures and stuff, as well as like the cosplay photo shoots, etc. And I was trying to talk about the role and the work, and he kept being like, I'm a photographer, I'm a cosplay photographer, like you have to let me shoot you.
No.
And I was just like, this white man wants to shoot me? Not a shock, but okay. Never been so upfront with that before. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to like ever be in Georgia. So, and he was just like, why not? And I was like, I like being alive a lot. And I really don't like being hate crimed. So I don't go to like, I don't live in majority white places. It's a legitimate thing that keeps me from moving to a lot of places. I will not live in white spaces, like very white spaces. I won't. You'll never catch me in Portland. But like I was just like, yeah, I don't fancy being hate crimed. And he was like, I don't know why you would say that. Georgia hasn't had a problem with the African Americans since the 60s.
Maud Arbery.
And I was like, do you think I'm African American? Do you think there's only white people and people who are specifically African American? And also, what did you say? What? And I was just sitting there in a state of like shock, and I was like, he did not live in Atlanta, and I was just like, I'm sorry, what? And then he was, we haven't had like those. I don't know why you would even bring that up, and I was just like, I don't know why you're bringing up your girlfriend, but I was just like, yeah. So I'm not. I also, I was just like, yeah, and I'm also entirely self-shot. I don't do photo shoots with other people. I am entirely self-shot because I am a photographer. But mostly I was just, or that's also not true. I am entirely self-shot, but it's mostly because I am in a pandemic and I live alone. So yeah, I'm entirely self-shot. Also because I do photography, but mostly just because like, I'm a control freak and I live alone. But like, I was just like, so, and in my head, I was like, just finish the fucking like thing because it's paid. It didn't get paid. Which is just the worst thing because I sat through all of this because I was like, I need money. So I was just like, let me just deflect here for a second and try to get back to it. And I was like, so you've created a world, you said. And he was like, yeah, it's entirely my own. I made the whole, like it's D&D, but I made the entire world. I made up every character. It is all 100% original. And I was like, well, that's a lot of fucking work. Okay, let me see it. And he was like, okay, so this is the evil race.
Here we go. There it is.
Yep. Wait. And then he showed me and he was like, they're called Tikbalan. And I went, sounds familiar. And I saw them. They're Tikbalan. They're Tikbalang, which is a like quote unquote reverse centaur. They are a horse on the top, man on the bottom. They are a Filipino mythological creature. And I said, that's a Tikbalang. And he said, oh, you know it. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty well acquainted with a lot of Filipino mythology now. That's just a Tikbalang. And he put orc armor on it. And I was like, you're missing the G. And he was like, no, these are my creatures. They're not the same as Tikbalang, which he didn't say correctly. And he said they're Tikbalan, and they're so they were like made by this evil sorcerer. So they're not actually like Tikbalang. And I was just like, but that's a Tikbalang. It is identical in every way, shape, or form, down to the design that is a Tikbalang you put armor on. That's you're literally just taking that from that culture and claiming that you invented it. And then he said discovered, and I was just like, ooh, Christopher Columbusing this shit? What is happening? And every creature that he came up with was literally, other than that, just a person. It's just a human being. It was just a human being in some sort of something. And then all AFAB, like all female roles, were subservient to the great sorcerer, who was very obviously a self-insert. And they were all horny all the time. And all of the lines for this. No, I had nobody in common with him, at least. So I'm pretty sure none of you guys even, like, he's not even on anybody's radar. And then like all of the lines that he like had for me to do were extremely sexual. And throughout all of this, he hit on me the whole time. Truly maidenless behavior like this. Thank you. Yes, Classic Dragon, 10 out of 10. It was the most grating 30 minutes professionally I had in that year. I was fucking dying over this dude, and he literally was just like, and then I tried to go to the main thing where I kept trying to go there and he kept deflecting. I was like, so what's the money situation? You didn't say exactly what the budget for this is. And he said, oh, well, I actually don't discuss that on the interview. And I was like, you're going to. And he was like, well, it's just like sometimes people like just kind of, they just like, you know, they just want to do this for the money. And I went, yes, it's a job. It's a job. So
This is
yeah,
fucking
people want to know.
ridiculous.
And he was just like, yeah, but like, I don't want it. I don't want anybody to join this just for the money. And I was just like, what is the money? And then here's the thing that I do that I've always done is I have a rude tax. If you piss me off or you're shitty to me, I am more expensive. You will pay for upsetting me. I'm just not going to say so. So, like, I was just like, yeah, well, and this was like almost a year ago. This was very much like my beginning where, I was just taking a bunch of interviews still. Now I don't take things that aren't vetted really usually, but, unless it's like a bigger company or something where it's just like, well, you're vetted by the fact that I know who you are. But, I think the end result was basically came down to about $10 an hour. I was like, I don't think anybody's gonna do it for the money. It's like saying that's okay. But like he would not stop. He would not stop being like, it's just like such a turn off when people are like just here for the money. And I was just like, I'm not here.
Motherfuckers ain't here to turn you on. I'm sorry. It was disgusting. And then he kept being like, yeah, well, like maybe sometime, like maybe you are like in Georgia, or maybe I can come down to you. Where are you? And I was just like, not where you are. No. And I was just like, oh, I don't give out my information. And so like I told him that my rate was at least $35 an hour. And that's like what I do for people that like, and like usually I'll say this nicer because like I don't actually care and my budget's usually a paperclip. So like, but like this dude was being shitty and like really entitled and like really, really, really condescending to me and in general about everybody else. And then he talked about how he kept shit talking his girlfriend, by the way, his ex-girlfriend. Every 2 seconds he'd be like, yeah, I really like that you're interested in the role or whatever, which like I wasn't. Okay. And because like she just wasn't really enthusiastic about it. And I was just like, I'm not trying to date you. I'm a lesbian, but also fuck you. This is a job interview. And then, oh my God, how to put this? So not only did he shit on her the entire time and he hit on me like the entire time. Oh my God. He thought he was funny. And he kept making jokes. And you know, sometimes somebody's not that funny or like a punchline doesn't land, but you can tell that it was a joke. Like that it was set up for a joke for a punchline. Right.
He was just talking. And then he would laugh. He would say something that wasn't even remotely in the realm of potentially being recognizable as a joke. And then he would laugh and then he would wait for me to laugh, which I didn't do.
Pause for reaction.
Literally, he would say like, blah, 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 blah. And I would just sit there like,
I hate this. The more I'm hearing, the more I hate this.
And I was just waiting for him. And he was just like, you're not an easy laugh, are you? And I was like, actually, I laugh all the time. I'm really funny. And I literally laugh all the time. Half at myself, usually because somebody else is funny. Like I laugh all the time. And he was just like, I'll get you to laugh. And I was like, no, you won't.
That's not what the fuck we're here for.
Also, that's not how humor works.
Also,
you have to be smart to be funny. So,
damn it.
I'm shook how insufferable someone could make 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was so much all the time. And then he also called me spicy. Yep. And
I'm getting ready to tap out.
Yeah, it was that's all I can remember from it because I remember I think less than happened because my brain was like, I'm gonna protect you from the rest of this. But yeah, that was 30 minutes and then he didn't pay me. It took 10 minutes to get the budget out of him. And then he was like, well, I'll send you the slides and you can do this and like just let me know if you're feeling it. And I was just like, so you said this was a paid interview? And he was just like, oh yeah, we said that to like kind of like raise attention, but it's not actually
this
paid.
Close, Nikki.
Like we said paid. That to like, raise attention, but it's not paid.
That's fraud.
Yes, it is.
That's motherfucking fraud. That's a crime.
Yeah.
That is illegal.
Yeah.
Yo, I want to fight this dude. I'm full on.
I'd want to fight him, but he'd be into it.
Oh.
Yeah. No. Glyza, you were mad enough. I wasn't going to tell you all the details. I was still processing. I told Glyza the minute it happened. I was like, you will not believe what just happened to me. Like, it was
so fucking disgusting.
Also, I was so focused on the tikbalang thing. I was just like, I gotta tell Glyza right now. Because we had just recorded our episode on Trece for Cringe Warning. So it was like fresh on my mind. And I was just like, I gotta tell you what the fuck just happened. Yeah. He literally thought I wouldn't know what a tikbalang was. And therefore, he could get away with claiming that he created them. He was really shocked
the
that I knew what they
audacity.
were.
There's so much. Like, there's so much. He just,
I still feel I am owed money.
You
because
are
that
owed
happened
money.
to me.
You are entitled to a financial compensation.
Thank you, yeah. Half the shit that happens to me, I'm just like, I am entitled to financial compensation. Also a hug by somebody I love.
This is the kind of shit that we need to get the fuck out of our space.
Luckily, he's not in our space. He had like 2 followers. I hadn't heard about it from Twitter. I had like gotten, I don't know where I got the audition or interview or whatever from, but like when I looked it up, I was just like, you got no people. You really got no bitches. You have no bitches. Maidenless behavior.
You keep asking me about my bitches.
My enemy in
where are
Christ.
yours? Where are yours?
What are you doing?
I think
Oh my
that's a good
God.
title for this one is the you are
Where are your
you are
bitches?
titled or you are entitled to financial compensation.
Yeah,
He
it
didn't pay you.
If you encounter
is
that
a
guy, you are entitled to
crime.
financial compensation.
That is he
Well,
frauded.
Nora, you and I know that I am no stranger to being frauded accidentally. So 0 maiden, 0 followers, too much Christ, my enemy. Like,
Well, CK.
Mr. Maidenless is a good name, though, Spigs, you're right.
yes, Mr. Maidenless.
Mr.
That is
Maidenless.
literally it.
Oh my God.
Also, why would you keep bringing up how your ex left you? Why would you tell somebody that you are bitchless? Why would you do that?
No,
I once had a maiden, but now I am maiden.
I once had a maiden, but no longer. You've heard of Mr. Worldwide? Well, here's Mr. Maidenless.
Yeah, I remember, so before I came on the show, you guys told me like what this question would be, and you talked about somebody biting them, and now that Nick's been like, I thought biting Jam was the worst, that guy on the show, but this is so bad, yeah. I'm happy to have brought us to a new low.
Oh my God. I
Thank
think
you.
I would have preferred to get bit and gaslit than to spend 30 minutes with Mr.
I'm telling you
Maidenless.
right now, if I'm on a show in person and someone bites me, they will not be leaving set with teeth. Do not touch me without my consent. I am extremely, extremely
CJ does
violent.
not know about the biter gaslighter.
Just to run it through real quick. This was Persephorus, that guy. And very early into her learning Dungeons and Dragons, somebody offered to help make a character for her. And they made the character wrong, by the way. And during that session, they bit Seffi on the neck, and Seffi was like, "What would you do? What was that about? What did you do that for?" They were like, "Do what?"
What are you talking about?
It's I'm retching. Gonna be a long bit.
The happy ending to that story is that person is now in jail
Oh yes, they are in jail.
for a different thing altogether.
Still, you know,
Motherfuckers
Steffi's
just be out
already
here
really-
biting motherfuckers in the neck. Gotta go to
Steffi's
jail.
really impressive on her own, just the talent, the sheer dedication as a performer. But the fact, what's also very important is that that happened to her, and she still continued to play TTRPGs. I might have just gone home. Might have just been like, you know what? Other TTRPGs, yeah, not D&D anymore.
Well, I mean,
I wanna...
I'm laughing because I remember being told that story, and like now I'm telling you that story, and like I'm going to have the experience of being with another guest where I'm going to be like, well, Brandy had to deal with Mr. Maidenless, and so it's a circle of shit.
It is.
We really need to come up with a book
I'm an
already.
abolitionist, but I do think some people should be shot to the moon. Well, not the moon. She didn't do anything. Shot to Mars.
You know what? So one of the goals that we had with the That Guy section is that we want to write a book and have all of the That Guy stories in there.
Yes.
The problem is my schedule is stupid. And Anita's schedule, I believe, is starting to get stupid.
A little bit.
So if anybody is interested in being involved in this project, or if we could put together an Indiegogo and have people help us compile all these stories in a book and get artists
you
to
can
draw
get the transcriptions off of the audio tracks of your episodes. You could cut out just to the That Guy things, and then all you have to do is edit.
We actually have AJ working on that right now.
Perfect. Hell yeah.
Glyza, you're too busy.
You do not get to join
it.
any more projects. You're done.
Stop. No.
Just like no, you're done.
You're done.
Glyza.
But yeah, it's Tick Balangay is.
So if you are interested in being involved in this project, if you think this is something that we should start an Indiegogo or a Kickstarter or whatever for, slide into Critical Misses DMs. We'll vet you because we're not just gonna let anybody in on this project, and then we'll see about getting this going. Because I think having all of these stories in one spot so people can read the kind of shit people pull in the TTRPG space, I think it'd be pretty fucking sick.
I'm happy to help because I used to work in publishing and I've actually written a book before. I will not be releasing what it is because I would dox myself, but it's also like not great. I just got paid to write a book from a publisher. It was not like a work of fiction or whatever. It was just a book. But like I used to work in publishing and I will happily help with anything you guys want.
Absolutely. Because I think this would be fucking cool. Well, not cool. The exact opposite.
It would still be. It's cool though in the way that like when I used to work in publishing, I got this book for Christmas. Things people say in bookstores, and it is one of the funniest fucking reads, and it was really validating to like read and be like, yeah, we have all heard some shit. And some of it's like funny because it's so deranged. You're like, I must laugh, and some of it's just like that's happened to me.
Well, the other part of what we're going to be doing with this book is we're going to create monster stat blocks for each fat guy.
Yes. Okay, I'm absolutely. I would love to be involved in this in any way. Have me. That shit sounds great. So first, I will make the accompanying game.
So the first thing we need to do is we need to find a project manager to handle this because I am not that guy. I'm not organized. So, but yeah, so you can have a that guy in your game.
Glyza, there's a united coalition right now in chat and in this stream. You are not taking on any more projects till you finish the ones you have.
Why do I feel like I'm at family dinner?
Glyza, look me in my human eyes.
The biter gaslighter gets plus 15 to deception and bite.
There is a bite attack on the biter gaslight.
The fuck? Mr. Maidenless has a minus 20 charisma.
Yes.
I think
like an anti-bard.
The anti-bard?
If I ever played a bard with no charisma, like with a 0 or low charisma,
there would be a mimicry trait that allows him to steal other people's ideas and pass them off on his own.
Yep.
I think Mr. Maidenless has an aura of exhaustion.
Yes.
Where when you're around him, you suffer a point of exhaustion.
He was like an emotional vampire. I felt exhausted after that interview. I went straight into that chat to like talk to friends so that I could recharge because I'm an extrovert, and then I passed out.
Mr. Maidenless has no treasure on him.
Can't make charisma checks.
Yeah. Absolutely. Anti-bard. He is an anti-bard is an interesting concept for a villain and a character. I'm digging the concept, but yeah, absolutely. Like it was insane. I also can't believe he tried to, I guess, like fucking pretend that racism hasn't existed since the 60s in Georgia. In Georgia. I was like, what does your neighborhood look like that you have never heard of racism? Also, like, I think he really thought I was African American because he just didn't think of what else I could be, which is the wildest part. Because of all things I get mistaken for, that one was new. I have been told to go to an African hair salon before by a racist, but that was just because they didn't want me to go to theirs, not because they thought I belonged there.
You mean racism was here the whole time?
The whole time? The whole time? The whole time?
Shut up!
CJ, no! Racism was the friends we made along the No! No!
That's the tagline under his character descriptor in the book.
I was thinking the tagline was going to be, if you encounter that guy, you're entitled to financial compensation.
Yes, right, that one.
So
yeah,
a lot of people like I've had a few people ask like, how long did these shows go? Like, if I go on Morning Ritual, I tell them as long as the show needs to. This is exactly what I mean. This needed to happen. We needed to get
racism in the room with you right now. I've had a few white therapists. That's pretty accurate.
Blink twice if the racism is in the room with you right now.
Inward.
It's like the Scooby-Doo villain as you take it up. It's like, it was racism all along.
I 100% created it myself by discovering Mr. Sandman and calling it something else. Okay.
Yeah, it was incredible. I've encountered many a racist, right? I grew up in a white country as the only person of color in my school, as like one of the only people of color in my area at all that like you could really see or talk to. So yeah, I encountered many a racist. I think he had the biggest balls of most of them. And I've been like hate crimed violently. That made me feel like I was crazy. I was like, what? What do you mean? And then he would say the next deranged thing, and I was like, what do you mean? And I didn't have enough time between absolute batshit takes to actually process what was happening. And I was just bouncing between, what did you say? The last time I was that confused, it was because I had said, what's chili without beef? Because I saw somebody say like, oh, a beefless chili. And I was just like, what's chili without beef? And my best friend misheard me and thought I said beans. What's chili without beans? And so she said meat. And I was like, I was so confused in that moment. I almost cried.
I hope that I'm never such a dickhead.
Truly.
That
I think there's active effort though that goes into it because he knew he was lying. He just thought he could get away with it.
But I mean, I want you to really just to take this moment in. I pray I'm never such a dickhead that somebody goes on a Saturday morning show and 26 people collectively and without question accept that my name is Mr. Maidenless. Like, look at what we have done. This guy is out somewhere just eating Cheerios, not realizing that he is getting dragged, or even worse, he's lurking and he has to accept that he is Mr. Maidenless.
Mr. Maidenless has a chili recipe that it claims is his. It's called Ormel chili.
I almost left again, and I know Nikki's watching.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my
For,
god.
for reference, the totally original version of Mr. Sandman is Mr. Silk Guy.
I mean, he did so much. He did so much wrong in 30 minutes.
Everything. And extra. He went for extra credit wrong. Literally. Every day, wake up. Just don't be Mr. Maidenless. Don't do that.
Ask
to
yourself,
people.
what would Mr. Maidenless do?
A
And
new
then do
meaning.
the opposite.
A new meaning to, is this maidenless behavior?
Sometimes you just really need to sit with yourself and ask, am what I do exhibiting maidenless behavior? Am I exhibiting maidenless behavior in this moment? And you have to think about that, internalize that. Sit with that for a minute.
Oh my god.
To be fair, there is a group of friends somewhere in Germany that periodically jokingly says hi to one of their friends' crotches as a joke because some psycho did that once.
That's, yeah, I mean, that's
But at
an
least
innocent
mine was
mistake.
genuinely an accident.
This dude was consistently exhibiting maidenless behavior for 30 minutes.
For free.
Do you or someone you love show signs of maidenless behavior?
Have you or someone you love been a victim of maidenless behavior? Please call 1-800-THAT-GUY.
Luck is when opportunity
You may be entitled to
meets
financial
maiden.
compensation. That is 1-800-THAT-GUY.
Yeah, he definitely has lived in that bubble of whiteness since he thought Georgia hasn't had a problem with the African Americans since the 60s.
Why the definitive article?
That was a lot. And he also stumbled over it 8 times while looking at me. And I was just like, are you trying to discern from my expression if I am African American? Because you're not going to get anything from except like absolute deep confusion.
It felt
I
like
wish I was the African American. Excuse me, we don't go by African American anymore. We are the night skins. Thank you very goddamn much.
I feel like the reason why he probably said the African Americans was because he wanted to say black, but he checked himself.
No,
Or he wanted
baby,
to say the other one. But
he wanted to say them night skins.
he wanted that's it. That's it, CJ. That's what I was thinking. Is that either that or he really wanted to say the N-word, but caught himself.
Barely. It was yeah. I was never gonna take the job. The moment I talked to him, he hit me with like immediate like trying to hit on me, and then that shit, I was like, I'm not working for this fucker. I will, however, take the money for this interview, and then I didn't get any.
And then you got finessed out of the money for the interview.
I can't believe how often he would say like it's such a turnoff when people ask about the money, and I was like, it's a job interview.
It's a job interview. You're not supposed to be.
If I went to
why
Whole
are you turned
Foods-
on during a job interview?
Right? And I went to Whole Foods and I was interviewing for a job and I asked them what the pay was and they said that was a turnoff. I'd hit them with an HR lawsuit so bad it would be my foods.
Oh my god! Like, you know, okay. I have a question, and I'm asking a little for myself and a little for the rest of the socially awkward fucks in the class.
Present.
So I am friends with a lot of people that like take spicy like selfies and whatnot and all that kind of stuff. Now, is it inappropriate to go, hey, that's hot? Like, you know, like
where? Is it appropriate to say that where?
Like Twitter. Like
If
Twitter or
mean
Instagram.
like if somebody posts a spicy selfie and you're friends with them and you have said shit like that before, you can say it. If you haven't talked to them before, don't do that shit. It's weird.
Yeah, if you're coming out of nowhere and you're saying that's hot.
Yeah. Or like if you've only spoken in a professional capacity, like you only know each other from planning shows or from working together, that's weird. What I did have is I had a lot of people because I had an OnlyFans still when I was starting out in the space. I retired in January. Which, by the way, the result of me retiring was that somebody who knew I was deleting my account downloaded all of it and then uploaded it to the internet and leaked my OnlyFans. So that was great. But what I had was that I would work with people. I would work with people in this space, and then without asking me or saying anything, they would subscribe to my OnlyFans, which they did have to look for. And then, because I didn't advertise on Twitter anymore, because,
Right.
you know, I didn't want to mix that stuff together. But I had people subscribe to it and then like specifically, because I see what you like. It's my notifications. And then I would see that they would like specifically only the most explicit content that I had on there, which you have to dig for since I was very ill. I was in bed and in the hospital for most of 2021 until I started working here. And I was in bed and in the hospital for the latter part of 2020 as well, because I'm very ill and will continue to be ill until I die eventually in a very long time. But like, you know, knock on wood. But like, I was very sick. So I actually didn't make a lot of very explicit content anymore because I physically couldn't do it. Also, I like almost starved to death because I was so sick. So it's not like I was feeling particularly sexy. And I was a survival sex worker, so I did what I could. But like, you have to really go through my whole OnlyFans to find like plithy picture. And I would see that it was like people in the space who would straight up and go like those things specifically. And those are sometimes people that like, I know you're in a relationship and I don't know what kind of relationship you have. I don't know if you guys are cool with you guys doing porn or like looking at porn. I don't know if you guys like have had that talk. I don't know what your boundaries are. So I don't know what you've put me in situationally. And then I also had a lot of people say that they just wanted to support me. And I'd be like, yeah, I have a Patreon and I have a Cash App. If you really want to, because what I hate is when people say, I just want to support sex workers. If you want to support sex workers, just send them money. That's it. Supporting sex workers, supporting someone means you're supporting them. It means you're sending them money. You don't have to receive something in return if you are just doing it to support someone. There's no shame in buying porn. You should buy your porn. It's much more ethical. Usually like it's somebody who's like making something they have consented to. As like, and so like it is the ethical thing to do. There's nothing wrong with saying you prefer to buy porn because you like that your money is going directly to a person. You like that it helps somebody that you are a fan of. That is all valid to say. But to say that you are on my OnlyFans because you just want to help me and support me, you don't have to see me naked to support me. You want to see me naked. Say that. Because I had a lot of people ignore my Patreon, ignore later my Ko-fi, ignore my Cash App, ignore my PayPal, ignore every other way that you can support me, ignore my itch, where you can still buy shit. You can still get bang for your buck if you go to my itch and you tip me $100 on a game. If you really wanted to give me the money, you would be able to give me the money. It is not hard to give me money. I've made it very easy. So if you go to my OnlyFans, it's specifically because you want to be there. And I had been very vocal about how uncomfortable I had become with it. And like how in my private life, things had happened that made me fundamentally uncomfortable with it. And that I wanted to quit. And that camming made me like absolutely like depressed because of how sick I was and the relationship that I was having with my own body because I was so sick. And like to then have people straight up to your face be like, I just want to support you. I love supporting the OnlyFans. And it's just like, you want to see me naked. Just say that. I don't care. I don't like being lied to because that's what you're doing. If you wanted to support me, you could support me without seeing me naked. And it's weird because we work together. And when people ask you, oh, is it weird? What am I supposed to say? I can't say yes because I need your money. I need money. I'm a survival sex worker. I need money. I cannot, like I said, you can't be yourself in this job. But it's weird when people then come to it and like don't actually respect your boundaries and like genuinely like, what am I going to say? Am I going to say no? And then I don't get any money, which like I said, my grocery budget, OnlyFans was my grocery money because whatever I made that didn't go to rent, I was like, I need food. And that is it. And I was just like, okay, so if you don't drop like $10 on my OnlyFans, that's $10 less of food for me this month when I was doing that. So yeah, I don't get to say, no, it's creepy because also you're established in this space. and I see you and we are friendly-ish, and I'm going to have to keep working with you. And I know you're not an evil person. Just kind of fucked up here a little bit, but like, I'm not going to immediately say like you were an evil, heinous person. But like, if I said, yeah, it makes me really uncomfortable and I think it's really creepy, that's not going to do well for me in this space. So
yeah, like it's an abuse of the power dynamic for sure. Like,
and it's not even, I'm not even saying that it was a conscious thing or whatever, so much as like, you can unconsciously be shit. That happens. Absolutely. But like, it was such an awkward position to be in, especially because like some people who did it, especially like the people that would go specifically searching for my most explicit shit. It's really weird to be in a session 0 with somebody and you've never spoken about it. And sometimes they would lie about it publicly unnecessarily. Like I remember mentioning something, all of my, I haven't had many piercings, but I don't have any now. And I don't have a lot of tattoos currently. I will when I have tattoo money, but someday. But like you can't see any of my tattoos. You can't see most of like if I ever wear body jewelry, it's really just for me. You can't see it. So any modifications whatsoever, you can't see them. And I remember talking about them once, and somebody who had done that thing were like unsolicited, gone to my OnlyFans, subscribed without asking me, without saying anything. And had like specifically gone after all of my most explicit content, said something about like, oh, well, I've never seen that part of you. And I was like, motherfucker, you've seen all my parts. It's just weird because now I'm like, I don't understand why you engaged with that post to begin with, especially if you were going to lie. And like, now I really don't know. Are you open about subscribing to people's OnlyFans? Is that something that like is a secret for you? Is that a secret to your partner? Is that a secret to your family? Like your kids that I know about? Like this is a really, and then like I'm just like, and I'm going to continue having to work in this space, and I might even meet your partner. I might meet your family, and that is an extremely weird position to be in. It's very uncomfortable. So it's like you can, I think as long as you go about things with the idea of like, if you did this in person, would it be weird?
Right.
So like if somebody looks like really good on the street, you usually don't say you look hot.
Right.
You say that looks great. You look great. You're killing it. This is stunning. This is fire. Straight up. Like there's a billion ways to say it where it's like, cool. But then there's ways where it's just like, do I have the rapport with this person to say this to them?
Yeah.
Because I also like will straight up like under my friends like cosplay selfies if it's like a hotter one, because they're my friends and we have this, and we also like my friends and I will ask each other like, and I always ask my friends how, and I do it every time too. I ask Rowan, one of my best friends, I ask Rowan, but when Rowan posts a selfie that's like hotter, I text Rowan and I go, how horny can I get under this post? And Rowan will always say, absolutely go ham. And I will literally post a meme of like, it is I who nuts to that. Like I will, because we talked about it and we consented to it.
Yeah.
In the moment. And I check every time. And I've been very clear about like, I love it when you guys set boundaries. You can always change your boundaries. I will never take it personally. I love you very much and it doesn't change when you set a boundary. So it's a great meme. It's my favorite. I love it and I wish I could use it more. But I'll post it on my Twitter so you guys can save it and use it if you want. But so like you can do that, with your friends. You can check in with people, be like, how horny can I get under this right now? Because I like you look great and I just want to hype you up.
Yeah.
How batshit can I get right now? And then they'll tell you. And hopefully you've got a good relationship where they feel comfortable telling you no when they want to, which is like something that takes time and trust. But like I think if it's friends and you know them, you know each other, you can communicate, you can figure that out. Okay. If it's a stranger, I'd err on the side of caution, because there's just, for every person that's like me, there's gonna be like, for every 10 people that are like me, there's gonna be one bitch on the street being like, well, actually when I get catcalled, I think it's flattering because I don't get a lot of male attention. It's like, pick me ass motherfucker, shut up. Shut up. That's not the point. They don't care if you like it. But like, so there's going to be people that are like, I really like it when people call me hot. I really like it when strangers call me hot. That's cool. I don't care. I'd err on the side of caution because for every one of you, there's 10 of me for sure.
and
Yeah.
not everybody like liking it and moving on is an option, or just like acknowledging it in your head and moving on is an option.
Yeah.
You don't have to get gross in someone's mentions.
Yeah.
I mean,
like there's a way to be complimentary. Like I post selfies, and here and there I'll post like from a photo shoot something that like, yeah, I know it's hot. I know it is. I can see myself. It's fucking. I took that shot. I edited it. It's fucking hot. Well, I edit the lighting, but like it's fucking hot. I know it's hot. But like, I don't respond to people I don't know who get weird. Or if I feel the slightest bit uncomfortable, I just won't respond. And then like. But I have like friends or mutuals. Like before we went back, I almost cried in the fucking like I teared up a little because I have a Cancer sun and a Cancer moon. Leave me alone. But I cry very easily. Just like a little bit. But like at Scary Dog Friend Joe, who I fucking adore. I think Joe is the coolest fucking person. Oh my fucking god. And like Joe just tweeted for no reason. Oh my god, at the Brandy Rose is so beautiful. And I was just like. I was just sitting here like my eyes welling up, like, why are you so nice? What the fuck happened? And I was like, thank you. What happened? Something?
Nikki
and Joe
also
was like,
said,
I just see your face on so many stream promos this week. And I was just like, see, that was respectful as hell. It made me feel really good. It made me feel very appreciated. It was very sweet. And I was just like, yeah, you can do that shit. And like Joe and I have only worked together twice. We only spoken a handful of times. But like we did click very well. I really like Joe. I look forward to working more with Joe and hanging out with Joe more and maybe hopefully being friends with Joe. But like, it's just that's a great respectful way to just do that. Where like it was just a compliment. There was nothing there that could have possibly made me uncomfortable. It was just very, very kind, very sweet.
No expectations. Nikki says that it's also important to know what kind of compliments your friends like, so you can always ask about what words they prefer: cute, handsome, pretty, etc.
Yeah.
Oh my god. When I told people that I was trans mask, I realized a lot of people don't know what that means. And then I got misgendered. I still get misgendered all the time. Really, really badly. Really, really badly by being called like handsome or people using he, him pronouns for me when I use they, them. And it's just like trans mask. I am not a trans man. And I'm also a person of color. And I'm an AFAB person of color, which I won't unpack the whole suitcase, but people know the general suitcase of being hypermasculinized against your will and using it as a tool to subjugate and oppress you. Been my whole life. I'm a brown person. Any hair I have is extremely visible. My eyebrows have been plucked and waxed forcibly since I was like 11, which is why they look like this now, when originally they were much longer, much thicker, which now, of course, is in style. But like, there's a reason I can't use he, him. And it's not because in general, I'm like masculinity. No, I'm like, no, masculinity. Yes. But also my masculinity isn't like some macho looking dude. Like this is masculine to me. This is comfy for me. I like they, them. They, them is great. When I use she for myself occasionally, which only I do, it's like a drag she. It's not an inherent gender she. Whenever I get really dressed up or whatever, when I like have boobs or whatever, I'm just like, yeah, drag. This is drag to me. And it's fun because drag is fun. And I like the character and I like that, but it's not inherent to me. But yeah, I love when people ask what words I like because I still prefer cute, pretty, gorgeous, stunning. I like all of that. Handsome, Masculinized words make me uncomfortable personally, and that's always different from person to person. So I'm really, 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 really grateful to everybody like Nikki who like checks. That shit's nice. I've also, unfortunately, because of my own Twitch followers, started referring to myself as a patoot. Instead of just being like person, which can sound like a little bit clinical. Because I'm not a girl, I'm not a boy.
Patoot.
Just like I'm a patoot. Yeah, cutest patoot. That's the Twitch. And I thought people would just, I don't know, call me Brandy, but people call me Patoot. And I was just like, I did this to myself. I named myself.
This is my own doing it.
I said, because Patoot means ass. I did this to myself. What's really cute, though, is that I can call them Patooties. Yeah. And I am the Grand Patoot. I am the head.
Lord Patoot.
I am. A Patoot is a butt. Thank you, Glaze. Yes. I did that to myself. I
I did not realize that patoot was a butt.
Yeah, because it's like cutie patootie. Like move your little cutie patootie. Yeah, patootie means butt. It's like a cute way to say butt. And I was just like, I am not half-assing things. I am not a cutie patootie. I am the cutest patoot. And that's where that came from. And so I used that as my handle. I did that to myself.
That's fair.
Brandy Rose is also an example of like when I fucked up a joke accidentally and I can't go back now. Is because Brandy Rose was a joke name because I'm a sex worker and it was originally my name for porn. And that's just how I became like well known in my platform grew under. So I use it and it's fine. It's great. But like Brandy Rose is the joke between sex workers where we do those like things that civs do, like civilians, where they do like, what was your first pet's name and the street you lived on? Brandy Rose. Brandy and Rose Avenue.
Tori Marshall would be mine.
That sounds like such a cool actor name though. Like I'd take Tori Marshall seriously. Brandy Rose very much does porn. That's what that name's.
Mine does not work.
What's yours?
Swamper Tie.
That's your drag name.
That's my
You'd be very avant-garde drag.
One more time? Swamper what now?
Tie.
Swamper
I
Tie.
I can't say the rest of the address because it will dox my family and
don't do that. Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
You're good.
But I had a blue healer named Swamper. We also had one named Chomper. We were very original with the names.
Well, if I go with my
if I was your drag
pet,
child, could I be Chomper?
Yes.
I actually do have a drag name. Because I actually am doing drag.
We had Swamper, Chomper, and then we had Rex.
I mean, I did have a tarantula for a second there, but it got killed real quick. And I named him Charlie. So really, my name would be Charlie Marshall.
Now,
Chuck Marshall
is
Chuck
also
Marshall.
I love Birdie Church.
Birdie Church.
Sugar Edith is real cute.
Oh,
Never
that is
have
a good
patoot
one.
where you can hold patoot. Yes, I'm taking that. Wait, let me write that down. That's a good one. Thank you. Never have patoot where you can hold patoot. Yes, Nina Village. Nina Village is a drag name.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
Yeah, Muffin Niles. Oh, I thought it said Knights. I was like, damn.
Muffin Niles. Oh, you know.
But yeah, so Brandy Rose was a joke, and then it caught on, and now everybody calls me my dog's name. I didn't think that through. I don't mind it at all, but like,
I mean, it's a good
I did
name.
this to myself.
This is what happens when you give dogs human names.
We didn't even name her. The reason
like
her name was
people.
Brandy is because we'd gotten her. Like, I mean, they got her. I wasn't born yet, but like I grew up with that dog. So like they had gotten her from a breeder and she was just in the litter that had all B names. So she was Brandy. We didn't call her Brandy, but her name was Brandy.
Listen, CJ, Clifton Spade fucks.
That is a good
Clifton Spade fucks.
That is a good
Absolutely.
name.
My drag name is Pussy the Devourer because I say pussy instead of pussy. And my drag persona that I have like created is an alien. It's a very pretty pink bimbo alien. I very much look forward to finally like fully like doing it and when I can ever afford to and performing. Yeah, I switched to drag. I'm switching to drag from like theater because I love performing, but I'm in a wheelchair. And drag is a very accessible space. You know, I actually never heard the song Brandy until like properly. Like I know it was in the Charlie's Angels movie, but I didn't clock it as a kid. But like until somebody sent that to my Twitch chat. Because I didn't know the song Brandy. What is it, Brandy? You're a fine girl or something. I didn't know that song, but it's cute. I like it.
Yo,
I said my own petard.
I think ending on everybody discovering their drag / poor name is as good a spot as
I hope I've inspired some new personas.
Hell yeah.
Some of you guys have some really, really sick names.
I'm Clifton Spade. You think I'm not finna name one of my TTRPG characters Clifton Spade? You think I'm above stealing your motherfucking names? I'm not.
No, let me run I Spy for you and you play as Clifton Spade.
Well, it's very funny that you mentioned that. We'll talk after the show.
But yes, I'm glad I was able to teach people that a patoot is a butt. And we're all inspired.
Today I learned.
We learned a whole lot. Oh God!
Thank you for having me on.
Hell yeah.
It's been so much fun.
I'm gonna try and bully you to come back.
Always.
But I swear to God, if I didn't have another show to hop on in just a bit here, I would keep this going. But that's been our episode for today. I've been your host, Chuck Marshall. You can find me all over the internet as the TheNoirEnigma. TheNoirEnigma. That's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And our other host here.
Hi, I'm Anita or Panita or Critical Misses. You can find me everywhere online at Panita or at Critical Misses. And yeah, this is a show that we do. We're currently on the lookout for some new shows for the new season. So if you have a pitch that you want to send to us,
how many more shows do we need?
I'm just farming for pitches now at this point, because okay. I mean, if folks, one of the plans that we've got going on down the road is to start doing more pre-recorded content. And if we can sort of build up, like, hey, you want to run a show? We can have this. We got more. That way, when I go on vacation, I don't feel bad.
I will be sending you pitch.
All right. Yes. I'm so excited to talk about this thing that I'm trying to put together. Yes. And we had our fantastic guest today, Brandy. Tell us where we can find you.
Hi, everybody. I have been Brandy Rose, also known as Cutest Patoot on Twitch, and I am also at the Brandy Rose on Twitter and at Brandy Rose Official on Instagram. So I'm really, really excited to meet all of you guys that I haven't known before. Thanks for supporting me. Also, my PayPal has been going off, so thank you so much for supporting me and buying my things and my games. And I just love working in this space. I am a producer and director as well as performer, both in the TTRPG space and outside of it. I am the head of Patoot Podcasts, which is at Patoot Podcasts on Twitter, although I post all of our stuff on my main Twitter as well, which is currently host to 9 shows, half of which are in pre-recording. The other half are in hiatus because I am currently doing production for their next seasons and recording those. So you guys are going to see some really cool stuff, including, for example, don't say it like that. Don't say butt pods. My God. Anyway, we're glossing over that. This is the B-movie all over again. We're glossing over it. Patoot, at this point, you know what? Patoot is the name of the pink raccoon mascot. Let's put it that way. Okay. Anyway, one of the shows is, 2 of the shows actually are TTRPGs, TTRPG based. So one of them is Eat Crit, that's already out, and Eat Crit currently has solo episodes where I do quick starts to all 200. Yeah, it feels like that, huh? You can literally see one of my things every day of the week when everything is running and not on hiatus. So Eat Crit does solo episodes where I do quick starts and reviews of games designed by marginalized creators. And then the guested episodes that air also once a week, because it typically airs twice a week, is that I interview people of color in the TTRPG space. That's artists, creators, designers, AP producers, AP performers, all of it. So you should check that out. That show is actually getting split into 2. So going forward, eCrit will only be the episodes that have interviews, and the solo episodes will become their own show. Quick start. So keep an eye out for that going forward. It'll be technically in its first season, although that's already been running on eCrit. So 2 of them are TTRPG podcasts. The rest are pop culture, anime, and a bunch of other things, including a new one with the amazing The Kappa Chris. Christian is my co-host for the most recent show. We are halfway through filming it currently, which means also, by the way, we filmed that show, or we have been filming that show from 8 p.m. to 2 in the morning my time, because that's the only time that we've been able to do that show. So if I'm a little bit more unhinged on those episodes when they air, it's because it's 2 a.m.
Valid.
So yeah. Question is, do I sleep? I have narcolepsy. Trust me, I sleep enough. I got the wheelchair. I'm good. But yeah, so you should make sure to check those out because Christian is hysterical and a wonderful, wonderful co-host. And then I do another couple podcasts with my amazing co-host and best friend Livia about queerness and anime. So you should check those out as well. But yeah, if you put in Patoot Podcast or you put in Brandy Rose to Spotify, all of the currently airing shows will pop up. And they're also all on my Twitter. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Thank you. And please, thank you for buying my games. I hope you enjoy them and I hope you like running them. And if you have any questions or you need any help with one of the assets or the streaming kits, just hit me up on Twitter and let me know.
Boom, boom. Well, that's been our episode today. This was a good one, y'all. We're going to go ahead and raid the fantastic Nomadic.
Yay!
I love one whole gnome. I was torn between Total Party Kiss and Gnome, but Gnome won over.
I do love Gnome.
Yeah, you got nothing but heart hands, serious heart hands for Gnome. Thank you all for joining us. We'll talk to you later.
But until next time,
the
ritual has concluded. Bye, everybody.
Bye.